We have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
There's a huge pall of smoke coming from that direction.
And good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and welcome to the September 11th Remembrance edition of Mariners Baseball, where, yes, on this day, September 11th, 2001, America was attacked, where the two World Trade Centers were crashed and demolished, or whatever you want to say it. It fell, I don't know. The Pentagon got hit. United 93 hit the ground. Over 3,000 lives were lost on that incident, and probably many, many more. Just want to say condolences to all those that lost their lives on September 11th, 2001. And what a time that it was back then. Like, I was just 9 years old when it happened. And the first thing I saw, I just looked at the TV, and next thing I know, I see a plane hitting a building, and that was the World Trade Center. Who would have thought? And now, and also, let's not forget about September 11th, 2012, with the attack of Benghazi, which that is also another moment that shall never be forgotten, where 4 Americans were killed, including Ambassador Chris Stevens. So condolences to them as well. And Steve has joined us, and Steve did have some technical difficulties. His mic was working pretty poorly, and looks like it works a lot better now. And
there you go. Yeah.
So,
and I do a lot of recording stuff for videos of my own, and so it just seems like whenever I upload DaVinci, it kind of messes with everything, right? So, and then I have to close everything down, restart my computer, and then my microphone works again. It's just, you know what this is?
Everything's too software based.
Well, that's very true, but it's also, this is a piece of shit. That's the reality of this. It's a piece of shit. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be getting a new mic. You know, it's funny because every single time I do my shows, sometimes my guests will come back and say that there's an echo. And I know that through StreamYard itself, they have echo cancellation. I know I'm in a little bit of an echoey room, but still, there never should really be a problem.
No.
This is a piece of shit. So you were saying about 9/11, and I love the fact that you're doing this, the 9/11 Remembrance. You know, where were you?
Where was I?
Yeah,
It was
9/11.
around. I just happened to wake up at 7 a.m. because I was reminiscing the highlights when Charles Gibson made that amazing catch against the Anaheim Angels. And what's more eerie was that was actually the last Major League Baseball game played until 9/11. And I was watching the highlights in the morning. It was a pretty peaceful morning. I was getting ready for school. I was really amped up for school because I just went to a new public school because it was open in my neighborhood. So that was a really cool idea thing. Then I go to the bathroom as the best damn sports show period was on. If anyone remembers that show from a long time ago, really good show by the way, back then with when non-filtering was pretty much allowed. Then I walk out of the bathroom and next thing I know on TV, I see a plane hitting the World Trade Center. And I was like, wait, what is it? Is this real? And I'm like, yeah, this is real. And then my body just completely just wouldn't stop shaking. And then throughout the entire day of school, I was just completely shaken, shocked, just like everyone else. I remember the principal was actually coming into every class, checking in to see if all the kids were okay and like at least mentally able to be there. I mean, luckily I was, but man, many people during the time in New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C., their lives were never the same after that. And also, let's never forget about, and I already said this, September 11th, 2012, with the attack on Benghazi, rest in peace to Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans whose lives were also taken away. And Steve, where were you when 9/11 happened?
I was in my living room, man. I had just woken up, and man, back in the day, my morning routine was to grab a cup of coffee and grab the PI. I was more of a PI guy, not a Times guy. And I had the TV on, but I had the volume down as I was drinking coffee and just reading the newspaper. And I remember, man, I was looking right to my left, and then I just saw a plane crash into the World Trade Center. And I had to do a double take, and I was like, did I just see that? And so I turned on the volume, and yeah, they broke into a breaking news. And I was absolutely dumbfounded, man. And the crazy thing is, I remember, reading about world wars in school, and I was a kid, and I could never, ever, ever put myself in those shoes, or even witness anything that horrific on a personal level. And I couldn't for one moment put myself on that morning in New York City, whether it was a victim who was in the towers or even the first responders. It's something that greatly affected me, because I just never thought, we're told that our Defense Department is the strongest in the world, that they protect the homeland, man. The FCC, the FAA, and Homeland Security protects the airspace in and around our cities. So you just never think something like that would ever occur. In the midst of a tragedy, though, excuse me, in the midst of a tragedy, this country united together. It was unbelievably beautiful when baseball returned. And I remember the Yankees were in Chicago. New York was getting a round of applause, man. Everybody was driving around with flags on their car. It was a beautiful moment that this country united. and since then, man, I think we've lost a little bit of that, but still, it's 9/11 will always be that day to remember. And this is the 23rd anniversary, and it's still real today as it was back in 2001.
It very much was. And although we have an impending presidential election or even governor election, senators and House of Representatives, let's I know that we're all divided. We all have different opinions, but at least for today, let's all be united as Americans. Forget all of our differences. Put them aside for at least today. No, tomorrow and after that, that's your business. But at least today, let's at least remember those who lost their lives, sacrificed their lives, and whether anyone believes that, and even the ones that whether they think it was a conspiracy or a terrorist attack or both or whatever, we're putting that aside for today, just to remember those who lost their lives. And I'll even give it to the media members, the ones that also risked their lives covering the thing, because I remember I saw a clip where this guy, he was literally right in front of the World Trade Center, and as soon as it collapsed, he literally screamed, "We got to get out of here!" And somehow, by miracle, he still lived. So there were lives at stake, with whether it was media members, first responders, civilians, passengers of the airplane. Everyone's lives were at stake. And now we're getting close to game time. Before we even talk about the pregame, we are going to all stand and rise for the national anthem. And I put together a beautiful national anthem video. I used the clip from Super Bowl 42, performed by Jordan Sparks in the Super Bowl between the New England Patriots and the New York Giants. I put everything together, put all the videos. So here it is.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare from our bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free in the home of
Man, if that does not get you hyped up for this Mariners game, whether they're good or they suck, I don't know what will. I definitely am jealous of those that were at the Super Bowl at the time, but I just want to say thank you, Jordan Sparks, for giving us such an amazing performance. And I remember when I saw that clip where the Mariners were waving that flag under the idea of Mike Cameron and Mark McLemore. I was actually at that game when that happened, and that was also a surreal moment where not only did the Mariners win that division, and that was the last time they won the division. So personally, I can say that I went to the Mariners' last division championship game, and I remember everyone took a knee for a prayer. It was all dead silence. And then as soon as the prayers were done, everyone just burst out cheering, probably in tears, not only for the love of America, but also the love of the Mariners, as they had that amazing 116-win season. And I even remember Rick Riz visited my school at my elementary school, and we were talking when Rick Riz was sharing his stories in Anaheim because he was stuck there. And I remember, I think Rashard Lewis even visited. That's when the Sonics were a thing. Like, it was this crazy big thing. And I remember balloons were flying into the air, and my principal was
Balloons!
dressed as a Statue of Liberty. So the first few weeks of that school was probably one of my peak experience as a fourth grader. After that, I noticed everything went down. Then I started getting sent to the office like on a regular basis because I had bad behavior, did stupid things. And my baseball season wasn't great. And the Xbox came to my life, and that's where I started playing more video games than baseball practicing. So anyways, getting a little bit off topic. We've got a job to do. We are covering a Mariners game. And the Mariners have Michael King, who I added on my fantasy team, so I'm probably guaranteed 10 strikeouts. And Brian Wu. By the way,
I'm surprised that you went with the Jordan Sparks national anthem and you didn't go with the Whitney Houston national anthem of '92. That's the greatest national anthem of all time.
I know that one is the more popular one, but I'm the guy with unpopular opinions. But I think Jordan Sparks was better. Now that's probably because of generational differences. Probably, what it was.
I'll tell you what it was. It's number one. It's recency bias. That's the first thing because it happened within the scope of the last 5 years. But the second thing is
20 years.
The second thing is you're also a youngin'. So you weren't around for the '92 Whitney Houston.
I was a baby. I wasn't even alive. Yeah. I was not even born yet. I was still in my mommy's tummy.
Jesus Christ, man. Why did you should have just lied and said, oh, yeah, you're right. You didn't have to say that you weren't. Jesus Christ, man, I'm getting old. I'm getting way too old, man.
Hey, I'm feeling the same. I know you're older than me. No offense. But I'm feeling
yeah,
it.
Whoa. No offense. I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah.
So tonight's game, by the way, do you think this is a good matchup for the Mariners or no?
There's no good matchup. You can have a 5 ERA guy. You could have a 27 ERA guy. You could have a guy that's never played baseball. The Mariners are still going to have this offensive future. Oh, look at Cal Raleigh's catcher's gear. It's all patriotic.
Ooh.
Cal Raleigh's going all out. Hats off to you, man. Just like how much I decked out for 9/11. I do every holiday.
What's your favorite holiday, by the way?
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day is up there.
So so let me get this straight. So Veterans Day is a bigger holiday to you than say Christmas?
Christmas, you can't really get on the planes. They promote people get so hung up on birthday or Christmas presents so much. Me, I haven't even. The only thing I've ever really asked for from my parents are just clothes, and not even like the shiniest, the best or anything. I'm like, yeah, just give me regular shoes, whatever's within the budget. I don't really care.
Dude, I always ask for clothes because I never ever buy clothes for myself. Dude, I ride t-shirts and jeans until the wheels fall off, man. Like I just like I'll give you a good example. Like my belt's about to break. That's how far that I roll things till the wheels fall off. So like that's when it comes to Christmas. I really don't care about Christmas, but like if you're gonna get me something, it's all about clothes.
And it's really hard to make external family arrangements because the whole plane process isn't exactly ideal, and most of my family members are not even within area code of me, so that's why Christmas isn't that big of a thing to me. I mean, if someone can't find time other than Christmas to spend time with their family, then I don't know what to say. I mean, it's not my business. As we're getting ready for the first pitch, brought to you by 9/11. Never forget. And now here's the pitch. And that is outside for a ball. If only Flick of the Switch was there so he could praise me going, oh, he's not going with that SeatGeek agenda. Even though it's on my little banner there.
So according to Baseball Reference,
1-0 pitch.
It looks like Michael King. Looks like Michael King really doesn't have that much of a history against the Mariners.
I mean, he did lose last time, as we're looking at the 1-1 count on
So
Luis
there you go.
Arias. How do you say his name? Now here's a fly ball to left field, and Randy Arozarena should be there, and he makes the catch, and that is going to be 1 down already in 3 pitches. And looks like Arozarena is also going with that patriotic glove style too. He really, that's the thing about Arozarena and Julio. They seem to be very flashy about their personal presentations. That's what I've noticed about them. Like Julio being the Instagram boy star. And now here's Fernando Tatis Jr. And I also forgot to put him on my fantasy team as a starter, which I should have yesterday. And here is the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to JP Crawford. He has it, throw to first in time, and that is going to be 2 down. Good play by JP Crawford.
JP mon ami.
Cal Raleigh hit his 30th home run yesterday, along with Luke Raley with a home run, but the Mariners unfortunately lost that game because of, we talked about this morning, George Kirby's struggles
he had his struggles with his fastball last night. Just
he's been awful.
He's been essentially well, his start before that against the A's was actually pretty nice. It was, but sometimes he gets a little, he kind of seems to telegraph his pitches. And
he does it. He does it too well to the point where it does hang up to the middle.
So now we have what, Jurickson Profar, dude. He was an animal with Texas.
Jurickson Profar was another potential free agent the Mariners could have gotten after that 2022 season, and he was actually one of the cheaper ones too. He was even cheaper than, I think he was going to be cheaper than Conforto, or maybe it was vice versa. But he's also one of those guys I wish they went for. Yeah, I mean, it's he's the type of guy who actually makes decent. I'm gonna miss
contact. He's got a little pop in his bat as well too. And quite honestly, man, he's actually not a terrible defender. But Jerry.
He's just doing us a favor. It's okay. 54% of the time. The 1-2.
I know, dude.
Now here's a line drive, and that is caught by Arozarena, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Brian Wu. We go to the bottom of the first. It is no score.
I wonder what his favor is going to be for us after this season. I wonder what favor, he's.
I really am curious what his press conference is going to be, and I definitely want to make a YouTube video reacting to it, just so I can say, "Oh, Jerry, this is the Jerry that."
It's not going to do it. It's not going to be good.
It's going to be bad. He's going to be like,
"Well, what I'm looking forward to is him with egg on his face, right? Because there's a good chance that it's not going to end with us in the playoffs." And so when we're mathematically eliminated and we come to the end of the season, and he's got to do that press conference, man, dude, he's going to have to eat a lot of crow.
The Mariners didn't even upload that press conference from 23 last year because I think they were just that embarrassed that Jerry Dipoto said literally, and it was like because they didn't want the bad PR. And I actually kept digging for it, so I had to dig through Marine Layer podcast. Kudos to them that they were able to dig up whatever Jerry Dipoto said or whoever did it, but they did not put it on YouTube because they knew it was embarrassing.
Well, what's funny is I actually watched it on YouTube because the newspapers, the Seattle Times and I think a couple had
they had it.
Yeah, and so they put it on you. That's how I watched it. Plus I saw it on Twitter, and it was around. But yeah, like I'm not surprised that the Mariners tried to get rid of it though. Because
they really tried to cover that up.
Yeah, that's a very Mariners-y thing.
It was also a really weird Mariners-y thing when they actually gave Bill Bavasi an exit press conference.
I remember that. Yeah, that's a good.
And it made no sense. And Bill Bavasi's like, just didn't work out. I don't know what to do. I don't know what more I could have done, or I don't know what more John McLaren could have done with this team.
Didn't they do that with Zarenzik too? Didn't he have an exit press conference?
I don't think he did.
I can't remember.
But I remember
was fired in season.
I remember Eric Wedge declined a contract extension offer because he hated working under Jack Zarenzik. They definitely were not on the same page.
Yeah, Eric Wedge. He was a good manager though, man. It's just
he was just placed in the worst possible situation. As we were seeing a strike on Victor Robles.
Yeah. Dude, he was working with some shit teams.
Had he had at least this team, or he was willing to hang on for at least another year, then maybe things could have been different. Because I don't think Lloyd McClendon was any better than Eric Wedge, not even close.
Yeah, well, they were looking for, that fire plug, man. They were looking for that spark plug in Lloyd McClendon, somebody that would fire the troops up, that type of spark. But again,
They were looking for like a Dusty Baker type.
Yeah, there's only so much a manager can work with, man. If you don't have the players, it's not gonna didn't we have wasn't our shortstops like Brendan Ryan and Jack Wilson?
Brendan Ryan, Jack Wilson, Brad Miller. Except Brad Miller was actually okay.
And then we traded him.
And then he became a star for like a year.
He became a star for a couple of years, yeah.
Just like Justin Smoke.
To begin with, it's my birthday. I was on
the pitch,
back deck of
and a foul ball.
Boat Westwind in Westport, cutting bait for the day's salmon fishing trip. DA radio. Yeah. Oh, he was on the water. Okay. He was on the water.
As we're looking at the 0-2 for Victor Robles, 293 batter, the pitch. Good eye, and that's going to be outside for a ball. On the call today for the Mariners on Root Sports, it is now Angie Mentick as a color and Dave Sims as a play-by-play.
Terrible. You know what's funny though is a lot of people were wondering what's going to happen to Root Sports because there was word that Root might be closing because they've lost all their contracts.
Because the Kraken and the Blazers want nothing to do with them.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of
swing and a miss, strike three
from Root Sports employees, whether or not they're going to have a job. And I was like, you know what, the Mariners should take their broadcast in-house, right? And broadcast games on Mariners.com because you can literally run a broadcast for literally half the overhead of what you would need with Root Sports, right? You can hire a producer, you have your commentators, and then you can just have an in-house editor if you need it. And then you can post it up on Mariners.com. And if you want to charge a subscription,
fine, so be it.
Do it that way.
It's like a year, and we're looking at the 0-1 for Julio.
You can charge $100 for the season.
Swing and a miss, strike two.
It would be that simple because I know that the reason why they don't do it is because the Mariners don't have the know-how, but it's not exactly hard to hire somebody to do that. But also they still have contracts with Comcast.
0-2. And now it's popped up into first base, and Cronenworth is there. Yeah. He makes the catch, and personally, I wish Julio was like, "I got it." He probably should have done that.
Oh, you like Willie Mays Hayes?
Willie Mays, I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
More people should be doing that, but I know that it would be very frowned upon. It would probably be banned, and even if they did do that, umpire would probably call them out. If more people started doing that, they'll actually enforce the rules on that.
I think that would actually be great to see that.
The pitch. And that is a strike for Cal Raleigh. And Cal Raleigh, who just hit his 30th home run, has 91 RBIs. Batting .213, though. So his batting average is still very suspect.
That's pretty amazing that he can be a 3,100 guy with not even hitting 220 on the year.
That's pretty amazing. I remember back in the old days, Andrew Jones was being criticized for his bad batting average, but made it up with basically everything else.
Yeah. God,
the 0-2?
He's just not a good hitter.
Foul ball, and that's going to be... he's definitely... Hitter. He's a great power hitter, but he should not be the best hitter on this team. That's the real problem.
Like in a real world situation, he should be hitting like sixth in the lineup.
Yeah, we're looking at the 0-2 for Cal Raleigh, and now the pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, and that will retire the side. The only good news out of it is I get 2 strikeouts on my fantasy team, and the strategy that I do, my fantasy advice always is just pick anyone starting against the Mariners.
That's got to be, dude. That's actually kind of sad though, right? Where you're picking up pitchers pitching against the Mariners. Like that's how you know your baseball team is absolute just dog shit. You know what I mean? Like that you're willing to pick up just a pitcher off the waiver wire on fantasy baseball because you know it's going to help your team for that day.
And it's literally the easiest strategy ever.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I remember one year when I played fantasy baseball, I decided to take all Mariners, and this was 2005 or six, somewhere in that area.
Oh,
So
you might have had Brett Boone and like
No, it was Boone has already left, but it was like the Richie
Jose
Sexton.
Lopez.
Yeah, it was
You
like
caught lightning in a bottle with
Sexton.
Jose Lopez.
Yeah, it was like Richie Sexton and
Adrian
Beltre.
Beltre. Raul Ibanez had his best season.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, there was some hitters in there, but I still finished very low in the standings.
Carl Everett as your DH.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad, man.
The man who doesn't. You know what's crazier was the Oakland A's got Frank Thomas on a $500K plus incentive contract.
Yeah,
And the Mariners overpaid for Carl Everett. They gave him like $2 to $3 million, and the Oakland A's actually netted better than that.
Yeah, well, because the Oakland A's were smarter.
Yeah, they caught lightning in a bottle with Frank Thomas. That's a Moneyball move. That's a very underrated Moneyball move.
Yeah, I mean, the Oakland A's always seem to be ahead of the curve, and of course, but those were in the days where only two teams were really kind of working that philosophy. It was the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox, and the rest of them were still operating that antiquated dinosaur of, going on hunches, or you're looking at the back of baseball cards and be like, oh, well, that dude hit 260 with 30 home runs last year. Let's go ahead and give him $5 million.
Let's get him. And now the pitch to Machado, and that was right up the middle for a strike. Manny Machado hit that 2-run home run, which pretty much iced the game, unfortunately.
Yeah,
the
Mariners were still in that ball game for a little bit.
They still were. But then that other 2-run job didn't really help either. And that is outside for a ball. In my fantasy baseball team, I have 89 strikeouts versus 54. So obviously the Mariners are very much responsible for the majority of those.
Yeah, the good strategy about taking a guy like Michael King is the fact that you might end up getting like 8-9 strikeouts today.
The unfortunate though, my opponent, my semifinals opponent, he's actually one of my best friends. He also knows my strategy, and he added DeGrom and Scherzer, so I'm kind of screwed this weekend.
Oh, you mean in the fantasy draft that you rigged to get?
No, he did it in waiver. The pitch, that's foul ball. No, he did it in the. I actually had DeGrom at one point because I picked him up on it when he was on a 60, but then I gave up because I needed to move pieces around, and now it's gonna bite me in the butt this weekend.
You can't keep somebody on the IL.
Well, I had to move somebody else. There was like other moves I had to do.
Oh, okay, yeah. So because I remember in the league we can stick somebody on the IL if they're hurt. You can
ground ball to JP Crawford, throw to first in time.
For when they finally come off, and usually it was for a pitcher. I think the guy that I had on the DL, I can't remember. Yeah, that's the worst part about fantasy baseball is you always have to toggle your lineups, and you always have to move things around in order to to make the right moves. And so some dudes get cut, and it's like, God damn, I didn't really want to cut that guy. And then your nearest rival picks him up, and you're like,
That's why I was lucky enough to get 7 other people in my league, and I'm looking to expand to 10 because of the success of the league so far. And now here's the 1-0.
I know
I got Jay Trident Podcast on board to join my league. So that'll be fun. So that'll be the battle of 2 YouTubers and a best friend and a cousin and like few high school friends. And the 1-1. Half my league right now lives in my neighborhood, or at least did live in my neighborhood. So we were like all neighbors at one point. Jake Cronworth is looking at a 1-2 so far. He has 16 home runs. And we're looking at the 1-2 that Brian Wu is working on right now. And now here is the 1-2 pitch. And that is up high for a ball, topping out to a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And good news is the Oakland A's are beating the Astros so far. So the Mariners do have a grand opportunity to pick up a game if Oakland hangs on. led by Dawes Cameron, the son of Mike Cameron. Maybe Mike Cameron will spread that 9/11 magic. I know I shouldn't be saying that. Too soon still. You know what I mean? The 2-2. And that is up high for a ball, 3-2. I do remember when I was in high school, one of my classmates, just out of freaking random, it's not like it was even 9/11 that day, and this was my U.S. history class when I was a junior in high school, as we're waiting on a 3-2 pitch by Brian Wu. And now here's the pitch. And here is a fly ball to left field as Arena's there, and he makes the catch. So my classmate, he just randomly just burst, and he was one of those jock kids, popular kids, very troublemaker, class clowny type, kind of bully too. He just bursts out of nowhere saying 9/11 was a conspiracy because he was talking about this whole World Trade Center thing, and him and the teacher just went back and forth. But the teacher was being really nice about it, willing to have the conversation. The problem was, or maybe it was a good thing, it ate up the entire class. So our teacher couldn't even teach anything. And now we're looking at the pitch, and that is low for a ball. Yeah, so it was a very interesting day in class. Like, we were supposed to learn something, and then one of my classmates just goes boom. And we're looking at the 1-0 for Xander Bogaerts. And here's the pitch. And that is a strike. We're looking at a 1-1 count so far.
Sweet.
Bogaerts has hit a home run in 2 of the last 5 games. So he's hit 2 home runs in the last 5 games, huh? And the pitch. And now here's a ground ball. Could be tough. And the barehanded effort to throw to first. And that is in time. And what a play by Josh Rojas as he throws out Xander Bogaerts on a barehanded play. Nice play by Josh Rojas.
Nice.
All right. So now we're in commercial break again. Oh, wow. They're talking about all these. Now, it's campaign season. They're talking about Dave Reichert, because right now for the governorship, it's Dave Reichert versus Bob Ferguson. And objectively speaking, Bob Ferguson his campaign strategy is clearly overwhelming Dave Reichert. I have yet to see I only see signs in neighborhoods. I don't see them in areas, and I have yet to see a commercial of them. But Ferguson's ads are I feel like I see at least one per Mariners game. So that's all I can say. Not saying who to vote for, but one guy has the campaign edge over the other. That's all I can say.
Well,
and Christian, how you doing, Mr. Bear? I know you're all excited about your quarterback. Hopefully he'll have a better future, and hopefully he'll do better than Justin Fields.
yeah, I hear you. Interesting.
That's a Steve Smith commercial. And we are back from the break. Josh Rojas had a really nice play. It was a nice barehanded play. As much as I like Josh Rojas, though, he's in the future, they have to reconsider of where they're going to do a third base, because as a second baseman, I can see him doing second base. And if the Mariners really had money, put the money on Alex Bregman. Give him the money. Bring him over here.
Right.
In the 1-0 pitch. Now here's a liner, and that gets over the head for a base hit, and that should be extra bases as Arena. He does turn to go to second base for a stand-up double. Randy Arozarena, I will say it. He could be one of the best baseball players when he wants to be. Lazy but talented and flashy.
Lazy but flashy.
That's the perfect way. He's lazy but flashy. And now we're looking at Luke Raley, and he has an opportunity to put the Mariners on the board with a runner in scoring position to pitch. And that is a strike. And that's going to be an 0-1 count on Luke Raley. He's batting .240 with 19 home runs and 50 RBIs. Yes, he surpassed 50. It's not really known to be a guy to drive in runs, unfortunately. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball, and that's going to be a 1-1 count. Later in the show, Jay Trident Podcast is looking to join. He will come in probably the 4th inning after Steve's got to go on his beauty sleep after the 3rd inning.
Oh, don't. Come on now.
And now here's a ground ball that's going to at least advance a Rosarena to toss over the first in time. And, I have a really brilliant idea. Oh, Justin Turner's up. I don't know if he can bunt. Do you think he can bunt? I do think he should try.
That's a good question, man. It's a good question. We got one out. You want you're talking like a squeeze?
Like a squeeze because Randy Rosarena is at 3rd, so you can. He's not going to bunt. They're not going to do it, unfortunately. I think they should because if there's a possible run from 3rd base with feet, then why not?
Right.
As we're looking at the 1-0 on Justin Turner. He's batting .253, and now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. I mean, we know a pop-up's not going to do it. I mean, I think we should bunt because Polanco's next, and you can't really expect him to do much. But he is 3 for 4 with a home run, so I think that's why. But that's based on the past. That's not today. That was in the past. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. And I'm telling you. And they're going with the fact that he does well against the Padres. But when was that? When he had protection? When he was with the Dodgers? When he had Cody Bellinger in his prime? Yeah. You can't base it off of that.
Yeah.
As we're looking at the 1-2 for Justin Turner, the pitch. Oh, what do you know? They should have bunted. They should have bunted. They should have took my advice. Just lay down the bunt. Why? Oh, because he has a .293 average against a punt. Yeah, when he was with the Dodgers with plate protection all over the place. And now we got 2 outs. And now here is Jorge Polanco, the pitch. And that is a strike. It's almost like you literally could have just dropped the bunt. As long as you're not Eric Burnsing it, you should be able to score in a Rosarena. As we're looking at the 0-1. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. As Polanco is having a word with the umpire saying, that wasn't a strike. I'm like, focus on the game, bro. Also, career against Michael King. He is 1 for 4, so not exactly promising. And so we're looking at the 0-2 and the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-2. As we're looking at the 1-2 so far for Jorge Polanco. And now here's the pitch. And that is popped up and fouled. Not liking this so far. Refusal to bunt. Refusal to play the small ball, which is already costing a run. As we're looking at the 1-2 count on Jorge Polanco. Polanco looking at the 1-2. And the pitch. And that is another strikeout. And that's 4 strikeouts for myself and my fantasy baseball team. Like, this is literally passive income. I'm telling you. If you want to have a chance in fantasy baseball, just add anyone on the Mariners. Unfortunately, though, my rival in my semifinals, he picked up on that because he saw all my transactions and he noticed the pattern. Along with everyone else. Everyone knows my strategy. Rally Perron says, dude, I know how much more I can deal with. What are you talking about? I'm dealing with this bad Mariners offense? Yes. I mean, yeah, Edgar made them just a little bit better, but that's not saying much. That's like saying the crap that I took last night was better than the crap that I took the night before.
That's pretty.
Oh, yeah. Riley, I don't blame you for saying it. Oh, look, KFC's talking about their chicken wings. Gross. I'll just have something like a local shop. Okay, debate. KFC or Popeyes?
Oh, easy. Popeyes.
Yes! Popeyes has the freaking crisp that KFC will never have. The last time KFC was good was 1990s. And chances are, we probably never had the true KFC when it started at its origins. And no, KFC is not finger licking good. It's finger licking gross.
That's funny. He said that's finger licking gross.
It is finger licking gross. I mean, last time I had the KFC, I just went to get some popcorn chicken. Gross.
Gross.
Yeah, KFC's been off. I wouldn't even pay a franchise. I wouldn't even invest in a franchise for that. Like, no. But hey, if it's food, I'll eat it. If it's for free, sure. Just like Papa John's, I'd only eat it for free. And now here's the pitch. And that is a swing and a miss. And we're going to have to, with Jay Trident Podcast, he is there and awaiting his turn for the game. Might have to do just all three of us. We'll make it do.
Yeah,
and now we're looking at the 0-1.
I got a few more minutes.
The pitch. And that is a strike. Jay Trident Podcast. How you doing?
What's up, Jay?
And my banner's going to have to go for a while, unfortunately, just so I can make room for everyone. And your microphone is where? The pitch. Yeah, everyone's having a bad mic day. I think this is what today's really been. It's been a bad mic day.
Get your shit together, Jay.
Everyone's got to get their crap together, just like the Mariners offense. We're dealing with bad offense and a bad mic. I'm surprised my mic hasn't broken down yet. As we're looking at the 0-2 for Jackson Merrill. And now the pitch is going to be. And here's a fly ball to left field and fouled. Jackson Merrill hits well against the righties. He's one of the up-and-coming rookies for the San Diego Padres. Padres are a weird team, by the way, too. That's all I can say. And now we're looking at the 0-2, and now here is the pitch. And that is popped up and fouled again. And Trident, let's hear that beautiful voice of yours with that beard. Yes!
All right, that's a victory. That's a victory.
It is a victory.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Good.
So we're looking at the 0-2 so far. And now here is the pitch. And that is low for a ball. 1-2 the count.
How you doing, Jay?
Good. How have you been, man?
Oh, I can't complain, man. It's been good.
Good, good. You know what? Something's more important than baseball. Life's been good. I can't complain either.
None of us can. As we're looking at the 1-2 for Jackson Merrill, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Down goes Brian Wu, and that's going to be one out. As Riley Perron says, Mariners will never get it together and will never win a championship. And then Christ will come back, and they won't have a chance to win. They don't even have a chance even with Christ coming back. Let's be real. Actually, here's what could happen. Mariners will win a championship after Christ because everyone else will be gone, but the Mariners will somehow still be around. That's what's going to happen. So they'll win by default. Because even Christ would be like, oh, the Mariners? Nah, you can stay there. There you go. You can have your championship by default. That's my prediction. And that's very dark to say. Here's Donovan Solano as we're looking at the 0-1. And now here's the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Polanco. Throw to first. And it's in time. Some good defensive plays by the Mariners so far, as we got 2 outs. And despite how good pitching Brian Wu is, I would like to see some run support for this team. Oh, that almost took out Brian Wu too. I mean, that's one of the pitcher's worst enemies when you have a ball coming right at you. I've been hit by one of those things in the foot. It ain't pretty. As we're looking at the 2 outs by now to Kyle, can't even say his last name, and a pitch. And that is a strike.
Higashioka.
Higashioka. Man, you're good at this. See, that's why your channel does pretty well, because you can say names correctly.
Should just do that for a video. Just pronounce names and move on.
Yep. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. Yeah, just do a YouTube short of pronouncing very difficult names. There you go.
Be fun,
it's all in
actually.
the beard. As we're looking at the 0-2 so far for Kyle. 2 outs, as Dave Sims says. And now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that will retire the side. Great pitching outing by Brian Wu so far. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is still no score so far. And Jay Trident Podcast, as you can tell, today is September 11th, 2001. Steve and I shared our stories of where exactly we were. Now it's your turn. Where exactly were you on September 11th, 2001?
So it was actually, I was a freshman in high school, and it was, I think, my first week or second week of high school. And I was just eating breakfast. Normally it was, oatmeal and some orange juice in the morning. Never really had the TV on, that was back day. Still would read the newspaper. So I was reading through the old baseball box scores from the night before. And my brother, who's older, had called the house and said something. And he was like in a panic voice. And, we couldn't really pick it up. He was just like something about, and then it's, you play telephone. So he said something about the planes, and we heard airports. So we're like, something happened at an airport. So then we turned on the TV and just went from there. I actually went to school that day. They didn't cancel school. So I still went into class.
Oh, you mute. Oh, there you go. And he's muted again. Oh, Trident. Oh, there he goes again. There go. We're having a bad mic day.
Oh, 100%, man.
I wonder if this will... Maybe, here's the way I see it. Maybe the bad mic day, we're absorbing the pain of a bad mic day, and in turn, maybe the Mariners' offense will be good. So we'll take the suffering if it means for the Mariners to win. I came up with a joke, Trident. I think you just missed it, but I was thinking like maybe we're absorbing the suffering of bad mic day, and maybe the Mariners, like we took all the badness away from them, and maybe their offense will pick it up.
I'll take it. I would
take it. Just like how much when I had a don't quit your day job kind of day, and that's when Justin Turner hit the grand slam. I was like, nope, I'll take it. And now here's a fly ball to left field, and Jerickson Profar makes the catch. So you were in high school?
Yeah, I was in high school. So went to school. Half the teachers, we watched the news, and the other half were like, no, we just need to focus on learning. So it's kind of a mixed bag that day back in school. But yeah, definitely will never forget it. That's for sure.
None of us ever will.
One of those just etched into your brain, what you did that day.
Yeah, mine was watching Mariners highlights in the morning. I know I've said it earlier, and here's Josh Rojas as he is looking at a 1-0 count so far, and here's the pitch, and that is a strike. I was not only watching Mariners highlights because that was also the day Charles Gibson he made that amazing catch against the Angels, and then the 1-1 pitch and a foul ball, strike 2, and then the show shifted to the best damn sports show period, if you remember that, where the guy's like, oh, yeah, welcome to the best damn sports show period.
Tom Arnold.
And then I went to the bathroom, and next thing I know, plane hits the World Trade Center. The pitch, outside for a ball, and I was like flipping the channel. I was like, wait, it was literally on that channel. Like they literally flipped it.
Yeah.
As we're looking at a 2-2. And now here is the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? He did not go. But honestly, I felt like he deserved to be called a strike because that was a bad choice to even do a check swing. And the A's, yep, they're holding up against those Astros right now, aren't they? And now here's the 3-2 pitch. And ball 4, take your base. Because, normally the umpire's like, yeah, strike 3, you're out of there. Gets on first base. We'll take it. In the standings, yep, Mariners are 4.5 back. If the Mariners win today, wait, so that means it'll be 4 back. So it'll be 3.5 back. But the problem is Minnesota looks like they're winning.
They won.
Oh, yeah. When you're playing the Angels. See, I mean, that's just the way of the Mariners ruining the Angels ruining the Mariners. They play bad when they don't play us, especially when something critical. Well played, Angels. As we're looking at an 0-1 count on Victor Robles. And the pitch. And now here's a bunt and fouled. Catcher would have been in position anyway for that.
Yeah.
As we're looking at it, he's batting .291, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs for Victor Robles. He's actually been the best offensive hitter on the Mariners, at least most efficient, and that's painful to say. And now the 0-1 and a bunt, and ooh, if that got anywhere near the fielder, that would have been caught. 36 pitches for King so far. And obviously, Robles cannot even bunt any because it's strike 2. Because if he bunts again on strike 2 and it fouls, that's a strikeout right there. As we are looking at the 0-2 count so far for Victor Robles. And the pitch, ground ball fouled again. And Victor Robles is fighting it off at least, so we got to give him that. For anyone that cares about minor league baseball, Oklahoma City just defeated the Tacoma Rainiers, and Dom Canzone once again hits a home run. And honestly, I think Canzone is today's Taylor Trammell, if not even worse.
Yeah, kind of turning into that 4A player a little bit, for sure.
Quad A, they say, yeah. As we're looking at the 0-2 to Robles, check swing, did he go? He does not. Julio is on deck. But Julio has not been playing well, so that's going to be that's a problem. As we are looking at the 1-2 so far. And now here's the pitch. Oh, that hit him in the elbow, and that does not look good. And Victor Robles is getting hit. And although I'm one of those fools that always says take one for the team, but that one did not look good. But I think Victor Robles, nope, he looks okay. He's like, nah, I'm good, man. Oh, that's not good. That did not hit him in the protective anywhere. That hit him in the close to the wrist. Not good. Hopefully he'll be okay. Mariners have 101 batters hit this season, leading Major League Baseball. That's probably the only positive thing the Mariners have on this offense. So they're the best beanball team in baseball. They take it for the team. So you can call them a blue-collar team for that.
Like I said, normally I'd be kind of frustrated, but you know what? Well, we need the base runners, so.
We do. As we are looking at Julio Rodriguez. And now the pitch. Oh, inside. That almost gets him again. As we are looking at the 1-0. Julio's now batting .259 as his batting average just dropped. Drop below 260. As we are looking at the 1-0. And now here's the pitch. And now here's a ground ball, probably a double play ball. Throw to second. Oh, no! No play has been done because of drop ball. Mariners get lucky. Oh, they called the guy out at second.
He should be safe. He doesn't catch that.
I would challenge that call. Let's take a look at that again.
Yeah, I want that. Yeah, because he doesn't drop it in the transfer. He drops it when he catches it. I think
He
should
drops
be
it when he
safe at
catches
second.
it. Yeah, that wasn't on the transfer. If I'm Dan
Yeah.
Wilson, you should challenge that.
They are.
Absolutely, they should. And even if the challenge doesn't go our way, I'm still for it. I still think it's a great decision.
What is actually the rule on that? Is it like football? Do you have to complete the catch? Like, or is it in its glove? It's considered out. It's one of those things that you think I would know, but I don't really know the rule on it. I mean, it looks like it would be safe to me.
I think in my softball league, that would have not been considered a catch. I mean, he dropped the ball.
The Mariners will never get together and will never win a championship, and then Christ will come back and they won't have a chance to win. That's hardcore, man. That's hardcore.
Yeah, but I said that that's the only way they win because Christ would be like, nah, you guys stay there. Because you guys have your World Series by default.
All right, so here's the question, right? Who wins first, okay? In this scenario, now it is, will the Mariners make the playoffs before the Sonics come back or the Seahawks win the Super Bowl?
Seahawks winning a championship is probably more likely than those two at this time.
What's more likely? Yeah. What's more likely?
Seahawks winning another Super Bowl.
Mariners winning the championship or just making
back to the playoffs?
I'll actually say the Mariners making the playoffs just because it's so hard to win a championship that, like, even this year, the Mariners win tonight. They're 3.5 back. Like, I actually will say, I mean, if for jokes, I'll go Seahawks, but like, honestly, probably easier to have a team just make the playoffs than win it all would be my
overturned. He's safe.
After the Kraken, Miles says after the Kraken win the Stanley Cup in 2026. Yeah. Okay. I'll just say this, right? Like, it's such a Mariners-y thing for them to have this type of year, man. This is like typical Mariners.
It's the season that just won't die.
And until they actually clinch something, I still refuse to believe that they're going to be in the playoffs. So,
now
yeah, you know what? I'm kind of with you, right? I actually think the Mariners making the playoffs probably is more likely to happen than the Seahawks winning a Super Bowl, the Sonics coming back.
You know, before the drought was over,
like in a 2 year gap, though.
You know, back in like the years of 2013 or 2012, when the Mariners literally were the butt of Seattle sports jokes, it was probably more likely at the time to see the Sonics come back and win a championship before the Mariners even sniff a playoff appearance. Even before they even have like some kind of an opportunity for a run in September. That's how bad it was. And now we're looking at Cal Raleigh.
Do you guys remember 2008? Like the worst year in Seattle sports history?
Yeah.
Sonics left Seattle. Seahawks sucked balls.
Yeah.
Sonics
or
Seahawks sucked.
Yeah, they went 2-14.
4-12.
It was the Sonics left town. The Seahawks went 2-14. The Mariners lost 100 games that year. UW football went 0-12. The Cougars went like 1-11.
The only positive things that happened in Seattle sports was the Seattle Storm holding up and making the playoffs, and the rise of Isaiah Thomas in UW. That was literally it.
But really, and I don't mean to be disrespectful when it comes to the Storm, but did anybody care?
They cared when they cared about them when it was Lauren Jackson and Sue Bird in their primes. There was some kind of attention. It even made it to KJR at some point.
Well, it was because Lauren Jackson was a straight up dime.
Oh, now here's a line drive, and that is a base hit, and that's going to score in a run. Here comes Josh Rojas. I believe that is just one run in, and we will take it. Mariners take a 1-0 lead. Get on the board by Cal Raleigh.
So you finally get a clutch base hit from Cal, and it scores 1. I'm trying to look at where this ball landed. I was like, you're only going to be able to get 1 out of this. Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't think Robles kind of hesitated on that one.
I guess there was a little shot that it could be caught right off the bat.
Right. I was like wondering where that ball landed for a second. Right. Get 1 out of this. So here is
Randy, and here's my reaction to Randy Arozarena being here with the bases loaded. Yeah, that's how
You know
much.
what? He's gonna he's gonna punk you for that move right here. You
Okay,
know what I
good.
mean? Like what?
Let me
Watch him do that.
let me film it so I can put it on YouTube. The pitch. I'll totally get at least I got at least get thousands of views on that. At least 1,000 if I get a video of Randy Roser's like, "Hey, you made fun of me with that Austin Powers short clip," and he'll make fun of me for impersonating him too. And I probably didn't even do it right.
Does anybody know why Randy does that? Where he just like steps out of the box? I get he's taking.
Yeah,
the
no,
pitch.
I was wondering why he just stepped out of the box right there. I was wondering that.
He
It's
always
like,
does
makes
that.
no
I don't know.
sense. He
I was
didn't
like,
even call
is he trying
time.
to call time? Is he trying to call time? What's the
It's not exactly ideal.
Ooh, Randy just missed his pitch too.
Yep.
God
yep.
damn it.
He
He
won.
missed his pitch.
Ah,
That should
hit
have
the
been.
skinny part of the bat.
You get fastball down in the zone, like literally belt high, and you foul that. Oh,
Yep.
Edgar
By the
Martinez.
way, hey Jay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever witnessed a worse team than the Mariners when it comes to hitting the fastball?
The 2-2.
No, I mean honestly, like I was even talking about my post game yesterday. You look at like the Julio double play, Cal's fly. Now Julio's was a changeup, but just missing so many center cut pitches. And I know even the broadcasters talked about that. Like I don't have a huge problem with their approach necessarily, but they just, you know, they work the count. But you've got to punish those pitches. That was like you said, that pitch right there, that 2-1 was right there. That's the pitch that should be in the gap.
And
I've been watching this game for 30 years now, 35 years. I've been involved in some player development aspects, and I can do, like
3-2.
the one tried and true about major league hitters was that
and strike 3 called. Randy didn't even take a swing at that, and that was clearly in the strike zone. What was Randy doing on that?
they're like the one tried and true about every major leaguer was at least they could hit a fastball. Everybody can hit a fastball, right? You couldn't, like, if you couldn't hit a fastball, you weren't going to be in the major leagues that long. And for whatever reason, this year has literally been the worst when it comes to recognizing fastballs and also getting your swing in, getting the bat head out over the plate when it comes to the fastball. It's either they're late and they foul it off, or they swing right through fastballs, and it boggles my mind.
Well, and I think that's a reason.
And that is going to be a ball, 1-1.
Well, and we talk about so many times, like, how come these pitchers that aren't very good come in and just dot the corners against the Mariners and look so confident? It's because they know they can get away with these things. I mean, obviously 100%. The Mariners offense hasn't been great, but it's like, it's also putting the pitchers in a comfort level where they know, hey, I can just come back with this fastball and get them out, or they won't punish it.
Yeah, and they induce a lot of swing and misses from this lineup. But you know, the crazy thing was that I remember talking with Kyle Seager, and I asked him what pitch does he always look for? And he's like, fastball right under the plate.
The 1-2.
He's like, that's
and I almost got him. He
was like, even in off-speed counts, I'm always looking for fastball right down the middle of the plate, because it actually when you're looking for fastball, you actually pick up off speed a little bit better. Right. And it's funny, like, you know, and you know, when Scott gets fired, you know, then it all comes out that, you know, the hitting philosophy
2-2, and here's a 2-2 pitch. 3-2.
You know, and it's like, well, no wonder, because they're all these players that are in this lineup are like inundated with just a whole bunch of information. So when they're coming up to the plate, they're worried about their exit velocity on 2-1 or or 2-2, instead of just
3-2.
going up there with
foul ball. You
know, instead of going up there with just a simple sound approach of like, if I see it, I'm swinging at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why they say this in baseball, where it's like thinking can only hurt the club.
Yeah. No, and it's hold on.
As we were looking at a 3-2 for Luke Raley, this is the moment of truth.
Payoff pitch, 2 outs, runners moving.
Pitch. And now here's a liner, and that's going to be a base hit. That will get one more run in there. Victor's going to score. The throw to the plate, and Julio's not in time, or that is not in time, and that's going to be a 3-0 lead for the Mariners on a 2-out, 2 RBI single by Luke Raley.
I told you, Joe. I told you this matchup was good for the Mariners.
No, it's because the broken mics. We're absorbing the suffering.
And then, Steve, back to the point about that, I think it's a great call because, I think front offices should look at things like launch angle and all that stuff when you're looking at player evaluation. You should take into account what they're doing. But in terms of coaching on the field, it's sort of like, I don't think like a sack fly with the bases loaded down 4-0 in the 8th inning is a good at bat. But I want my players to go up with the mindset of getting the run in. So I want my players and my coaching staff to have that mentality of like see ball, hit ball, like you're talking about. Like, let the front office look at things like launch angle of the players. Don't try and coach the players to those things. Get the players that are good at that and put them in. I think that's kind of what you're getting. If I'm not, I'm
Well, I always believe there's a time and place for that information, right? Either before the game or after the game. If you want to go over their at bats, fair enough. In game, like you got to keep it. You got to have the simplest approach. The other thing, though, is that I also noticed there's a lot of guys in this lineup that are trying to play.
And now here's a fly ball to right field, but that is going to be caught. But the good news is the Mariners did get 3 runs out of that on singles by Luke Raley and whoever the other guy was, Cal Raleigh. So 3-0.
The other guy. Yeah, no, like there's a lot of guys in this lineup that play hero ball that believe that they have to do X in order for my team to win, instead of understanding there's guys behind them that are equally just as capable. So instead of believing in the group and having that confidence in the guy right behind you, guys like Cooley are going up to the plate, and maybe it's because he's got the contract, whatever the case may be, where he feels like he has to put the team on the shoulders instead of going up there and just taking a free and easy swing, just having fun.
Yeah. No, it's really true, and that's what it's supposed to be. On the field, like you said, in game, that's the mentality you have to have inside the game itself. And I know I agree 100%. You've got too many guys, and then this team just presses. I feel like today been better, up 3-0, but you see this team get down 1-2-0, and it's just like every swing is trying to tie the game instead of just letting the game come to them a little bit. So no, it has been an extremely frustrating team.
I would love to see this lineup take what the pitcher is willing to give them, right? So if JP Crawford's up there and he's not getting anything center cut, but he's getting something on the outside corner, just dunk it into left field for a base hit. You don't need to hit dingers, you don't need to hit doubles, you just have to get on base, man. And that's the thing. It's like doing the little things in order to win a game. If the big inning's not there and you're able to get one, well, those innings add up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can take the one and put yourself in a position for that big inning to come along.
Yeah, if you can get the one there, and then, hey, maybe later you do get that 2-run home run. Well, now you got that other run plus the 2-run home run. It just especially with this pitching staff. I know they haven't been quite as dominant this month, but, me and Mariner Sir were talking about that. Like, this is a team that should be doing more of that, taking the run that's out there, just poking it the other way, getting the run home, getting up 1-0. Like, you don't need to score 13, 14 runs a game for this team to win. I mean, how many?
Yeah, it just seems like they're going up to the some of these guys are going up the approach like they're just going to swing out at the top of their shoes. We're just gonna we're going up there looking for a 3-run home run. It's like, dude, man, a simple base hit just gets the job done.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%.
As we are looking at an 0-1 pitch for Luis Arias.
Dude, Arias is such a good hitter.
Now here's a line drive, and that's going to be caught by Randy Arozarena, and that's going to be one down already.
Woo's working him on the outside corner of the plate, and Arias is such a good hitter. He just goes the other way.
Does.
Just a nice fluid swing, man. It's like, dude, I'm so jealous of the Padres. Dude, I've wanted Luis Arias for years.
Is that the guy that they picked up off the streets, just like the Mariners picked up Victor Robles?
They traded prospects to the Marlins for him earlier this year.
And the Twins traded him to Miami for Lopez. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is like when you look at the package that the Marlins paid the Twins for him, it's like really that's what it cost. You know what I mean? Like that would have been a beautiful
Tatis. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and Wu took a risk on that one. He really went with that fastball, and that was a pretty favorable pitch for Fernando Tatis, and he somehow came up empty. As we're looking at the 0-2 for Fernando Tatis Jr. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brian Wu is absolutely on fire.
Good pitch. Fastball up in the zone, gets a nice little swing and miss right there. I still think Brian Wu's got the best fastball in this rotation. And I've been saying it for a while now. Like, that dude gets a lot of swing and miss with his fastball. It's seriously like an 80 grade. It's that good.
It really is.
I agree.
And Steve, I see that you're about to take off. I just got your message. Just want to say thank you for being on this show. Really appreciate it as always. And now here's a ground ball foul to Jurickson Profar.
Absolutely.
Any last words you got, Steve?
No, well, you know what? Again, thanks for having me on the 9/11 show. And again, I really hope the folks out there really take a moment to remember, because that was a very profound day in our country's history. And
It really was, and it always will.
Yeah, and just remember after 9/11 when this country got together and for that brief moment of time where everybody was united under the same flag. It was a really beautiful moment, man.
Really was.
Agreed.
As
You
we're
guys
looking
have a great
at
night.
0-2. Have a good
Have a
night.
good one, Steve.
And the 0-2 pitch. And that is up high for a ball. And now here's that banner that I made before the game.
Oh, it looks good.
I couldn't do that SeatGeek thing. I just couldn't do it. As we were looking at the 1-2 for Jurickson Profar. And the pitch. Ooh. Oh, strike 3. That was like the weirdest fastball I've ever seen. It had like a little bit of a breaking thing. And we have retired the side, and Profar is not happy about that call.
And the Astros are the A's are 1 out away. Actually, the A's beat the Astros, so if the Mariners win, 3.5 back.
Who would have thought? I mean,
Listen, just get me to that Houston series 2 or 3 games back. I'm not saying the Mariners are going to sweep it, but at least you control your own destiny, right? You can at least
make
go
it
into that series
interesting at
going.
least.
Yep, you can at least go into that series going. If we sweep this series, we will win the division.
Unless you have Oakland A's with that nothing to lose mentality, like, hey, let's do this for Oakland one last time. Heck, that could happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's still be work to do, but you know what I mean, right? Like, at least you're in position to go, okay, like, and again, I mean, you require to sweep Houston, which I know a lot of Astros people watch. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but you at least have the shot. The opportunity is there.
Yep. And I'm just looking at the comments, and well, some people are showing their colors. And am I going to have an opinion on that? Nope. I'm just going to leave it. I won't block them. I'm going to be like, okay, because I can't talk. The moment I talk about that kind of stuff, yeah, I think YouTube's going to take a crapper on my channel and everyone else. And Dustin says that's a great point about being at basically Oakland's last series. Yeah, the last series in history for the Oakland A's. They are definitely going to bring their best game. Just like the Sonics did in their last 2 games when they defeated the Dallas Mavericks, and they routed the Golden State Warriors because they were doing it for Seattle.
And how Mariners would it be to sweep that Astros series, get in first place, and then lose 2 out of 3 to the A's? It would be extremely Mariners.
And they lose on the last day, and then you have Moneyball A's doing their Moneyball thing, and that's like, yep, another Moneyball storybook ending. A's goes out of Oakland with a bang. Now here's the pitch to Polanco, and that is a strike. It was a check swing, and this umpires has had a really strange strike zone.
That's par for the course all season, it feels like.
And we're looking at the 0-1 for Polanco. Up high for a ball, 1-1. I remember a long time ago, and my dad was watching a documentary on, I mean, it's not like he was watching it because he agreed with it or anything, the 1-1, but he was watching 9/11 Loose Change. If anyone remembers that movie, documentary, where they were claiming that, stuff about 9/11 doesn't, blah, 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 whatever, you have the idea. I remember I started watching it, and he was watching it with his friends, and the pitch, 2-2, the count with a swing and a miss. My dad immediately was like, no, Joseph, go up to your room. Do not watch this. And I was like, why? I'm curious. And then when I saw it myself, like a few months later, I was like, oh, I get it. It's like really dark things that, let's just say, people are just not old enough to grasp until they're in their high school years. I'll say, because that's when I was just getting to high school. As Polanco strikes out.
We'll
and
take
yep,
the
Miles
3 runs.
agrees with you with your Houston series. Let's say they
Appreciate it.
sweep them and then
Appreciate
they lose to the Oakland A's when it matters most.
It would be very on brand.
I mean, this has been a very Mariners season. The pitch to Crawford as he was trying to draw a bunt, and that is a strike. Pretty weird approaches the Mariners have been taking on these pitches. Like Randy Rosarena took a weird step back as we were looking at the 0-1.
I just don't get what does he think the ump has a better view of the pitch? Maybe it's just weird.
I think Randy Rosarena might go on the block after this season because he doesn't seem in sync with the Mariners. Unfortunately, it just doesn't, or he's just not in it. His head's just out of the game, and now I can see why his value was pretty low. The 1-1, it makes a lot of sense now. Why? At the time when that trade happened, I was like, wait, this has got to be too good to be true. How did we only give up like Aiden Smith and that other guy? And then once we actually see him in play in action, I'm like, oh, I get it.
He's had some moments, though. Like, he hasn't been dreadful. He's just been...
And now here's a fly ball to left field, and Profar makes the catch. No, he's like one of those guys where I would say that he could be the best player in baseball when he wants to be. He's that kind of guy. Julio,
yeah, he definitely, yeah.
That's why people said that he was going to be a carbon copy of Julio, which he pretty much is.
Yeah.
And now here's Josh Rojas, the man who made the barehanded play. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball popped up to center field. And he's going to make the catch. And that's going to retire the side a 1-2-3 inning. And look at that beautiful Seattle skyline where they also, Mariners T-Mobile Park Stadium is also paying the respects of 9/11. I still remember, like, after that all happened, I didn't want to ride a plane for at least 2 years or even not longer.
Well, then, it's funny now. We remember, or I shouldn't say funny, that's the wrong word, but like, now we're so used to the security at the airports. It didn't used to be like that. I mean, it was pretty much free reign at going to an airport. You kind of just, if you were on the flight, you could go in the terminal, if you're picking up a buddy or something, it wasn't like it is today with all the
you could actually go to, your friends and family could go with you before they go in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And now security changed forever because of that. And now that's why you have to go to the airport at least, I would say, I think my rule of thumb is going to the airport at least 2 hours early.
Yeah, I think minimum almost. You want to be there 2 hours before.
2 hours before it goes. And man, because last thing you want to do on a flight is fighting the clock. That's the last thing you want to do at an airport.
It's so
and the only thing that gets in the way is that TSA.
Yeah, not too bad out here. Luckily, it's usually pretty smooth.
Seattle's pretty hectic. I mean, understandably so.
I shouldn't say it's not smooth. It's just not busy. It's never smooth.
Yeah, because it sounds like more people are living in Arizona more than they're flying out. But Seattle, much different. People, the vibe that Seattle gives off, people want to actually fly out of it just to like pretend they don't exist in the real world because they're all going on vacation. They're even going to a different state. Like me, I escaped to Seattle. I remember I was so fed up with the whole COVID thing because Texas reopened really quickly or comparatively quickly. And because of we were stuck in like phase 2, when I was in Washington, I was like, nah, I'm fine to Texas. I need a time away.
Yeah.
Did the same thing for Idaho. The pitch. And a line drive, and that's going to be caught by Rosarena. Nice diving catch by Rosarena. Made it look so easy.
Off the bat. Ooh, that was stunk. 113.
Yeah, I thought that was for sure going to be a hit by Machado, and that's a lot.
See, and then Randy does that. Like, he just, I can't get the grasp on Randy. It's like, I'm
telling you, he's the best player in baseball when he wants to be.
I didn't realize that I won't say it, but I mean it's only the 5th, but
Say it. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I know what you mean. The pitch. And that is a ball. It took me like a few extra seconds. Like, okay, what do you mean? Oh, I get it. And we're looking at the 1-0 so far. And now here is the pitch. And that is outside for a ball. 2-0. Jake Cronenworth batting .250 with 16 home runs. Mariners defense has been pretty decent. Only 3 errors in the last 21 games. And the 2-0 pitch. And now here's a fly ball to center field, and Julio makes the catch, and that is 2 outs. Brian Wu with only 47 pitches, and next week, marquee matchup, we got the Yankees and the Mariners. That's going to be a huge and very critical series. You got to get 2 out of 3 on that. If you get 2 out of 3 in that series, that would be a wild success. Some fatalists would say 1 out of 3 is a wild success against the Yankees. And now the pitch. But here's the thing, but it's not like the Yankees are a dominant baseball team. They're still dangling around with Baltimore. So Mariners should at least be able to compete in that series against the Yankees. Like, they are capable of competing against anyone. And it's proven because they have beaten up good teams. But then when they play the Angels or the Tigers, the pitch. And honestly, I think the Mariners are the reason. The Mariners are literally the reason why the Tigers are still in it. But I did look at Boston and Tigers' schedule. Their schedule looks brutal for the rest of the season. So I think it's really just Minnesota that we have to deal with if we're going to get the wild card.
There's a little bit of diciness because Minnesota plays Boston. Honestly, I'm kind of at the point I think it's division or not. I don't know. I think Minnesota hangs on there. It's just there's too many teams and factors. At least with the division, I think Houston's better than those teams. But at least with the division, it's one team, and you play them 3 times. So I actually think the division path is a lot
Might be more
simpler.
reachable.
It's more reachable, I think. Not that we shouldn't keep
Now
an eye on
here's a
that wild
fly
card.
ball to left field, and actually Julio's going to be there, and he makes the catch. And once again, another 1-2-3 inning, and look at that beautiful skyline of Seattle. It's just so gorgeous.
And it's getting a little serious now. It's getting a little serious. Just saying.
Not saying anything at all.
I'm not saying it. Not saying it, but
You're not saying it. The only thing I want to say is that today's 9/11, the anniversary. Have you seen the movie 13 Hours?
I'm not. I honestly am not much of a movie person.
It was about the movie 13 Hours was about another 9/11 that happened. It was in 2012 when the U.S. Embassy was attacked by terrorists in Libya.
Yep. I can't believe
I remember I watched that movie and I was shaking throughout the entire thing.
I did see one 9/11 movie. I don't remember which one it was, but it really focused on like the airport, TSA, I guess, the people that grounded all the flights and all that stuff. I forgot which one because there's been a bunch of 9/11 movies. So
there was World Trade Center that was it was about the first responders, and then there was United 93 and Flight 93 that was reenacting. It was reenacting the near plane takeover.
Yeah. I think it was those ones.
United 90. Okay, so the difference I saw was Flight 93 was more Hollywood-ish flashiness. Mm-hmm. United 93 was the more realistic one, which is why United 93 was more resonated more. Flight 93 was a bit too dramatized.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, I like the efforts, but but once you saw United 93, I was like, no, United 93 is the true thing. And they're showing Angie Mentic batting in the batting cage. I actually met Angie Mentic before. She was shopping at a store and I just happened to be the cashier. I think I told you the Edgar story already too.
Yeah. Yep.
Chased him away.
How was Angie? Was she cool? She seems pretty cool.
Yeah, she's cool. Just being a typical mom, buying
Yeah.
toys for her kids.
Yeah.
I think my most favorite one was in the pitch to Robles, and that is low for a ball. I think my most favorite was either Nelson Cruz or Felix or Lawyer Malloy, one of Tom Brady's ex-teammates.
Former Seahawk for a little bit too, actually.
Yeah,
at the end of
too.
his career. Yep.
The pitch. I think he actually came to the store for the second time, and he actually looked for me because he actually liked the advice I gave him.
How did you like baseball guys are easier? How did you recognize Lawyer Malloy? Or did you talk to him and then found out it was Lawyer Malloy? Because I would never. I mean,
The voice.
like obviously big guy, but
Well, when I looked him up, his phone number to get the membership or to validate his membership, then his name show. I was like, oh, you're Lawyer Malloy. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember when you said that Tom Brady was supposed to be the guy throwing interceptions for you as a practice. And he was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. The 2-1. And that's a foul ball. And we're looking at a 2-2 for Victor Robles. He has 4 hit by the pitches in his last 4 games played, so he's been a trooper. Sometimes you just wonder what this team could have been like if the Mariners hung on to Ty France with Dan Wilson. Sometimes you just wonder as we're looking at the 2-2 in the pitch. Because I think him and Edgar would have hit it off. Because him and Edgar, I think, had, not saying that they had similar styles, but
a little bit. Yeah, I get that. Like kind of profile that. Yeah.
Both of them, at least at the time, as that is a walk for Victor Robles. And here's like the thing was, it's like Edgar didn't have to necessarily rely on the home runs because he could capably do other things. And 2021 and 22, Ty France, they also didn't. Both of them didn't rely on the home runs necessarily. And then once we saw 23 and 24, France was just trying to bomb those things. He was trying way too much.
Whole team hitting philosophy was kind of a mess. And I think they did a good job getting new blood in there to help with that. I think it's been evident. I mean, they've been legitimately decent. That's small sample, but since Edgar's taken over, they've been good.
At least they're fighting. That's all we can say is they're at least making it. They're not making it easy, but there were games where when Scott Service was managing, there were games where they just looked like they just quit. They were like, screw this. The pitch. And what kind of a swing was that? Did that slider really have to fool him? I guess it was that nasty of a slider. That was a quick one, too.
As soon as we talk about better approach, Julio has his worst swing in a month.
He does. He says this is easily his worst season of his career. The pitch and swing and a miss as he swung at another bad pitch. Dustin says it's insane after everything. They're actually in it if they win this after this disaster season. And they're just like this to categorize this season. It's the season that just won't die.
This would be a season where the Mariners like won it all. You know what I mean? We're so frustrated and then they end up. It would be the most Mariner thing.
Or they'll have an actual sizable lead in a critical game of the World Series and lose.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll be something, but it would be like, you know, we have this dream of what a Mariners World Series would be like, just this perfect season, top to bottom, 98 wins.
Double play ball, throw to second, throw to first. Double play. Now Julio Rodriguez took over Ty France as the double play master.
But it would be very Mariners to be like sitting here at 500. We've all pretty much, I think even like, and I've been a Jerry defender, but even I'm kind of like, yeah, no, it's time to move on. That would be the year the Mariners win the World Series.
I'll take it. Like,
yeah,
even if they give Jerry DePoto like some kind of extension, I'll be like, fine, we got a World Series, but I'll complain about you another year from now. I'll give you a few months off at least.
Right.
And now the pitch. And now I'm going to have Mariner fans coming after me going, hey, you should be happy. Jerry got you a World Series. You're just greedy. It's like, yes, I am because I want dynasty. And yes, of course, need the World Series first, or let alone make the playoffs.
Yeah, let's. No, but I hear you. I know what you're saying.
Cal Raleigh has actually number 4 in fastest home runs as a catcher in 4 years, just behind Mike Piazza.
Cal's got a
swinging a
miss,
miss, strike
home
one.
runs. 8 RBIs away from 100. Be really cool to see a 3,100 year from Cal.
Yeah. And speak of Mike Piazza, he was also known to have one of the more inspirational moments in Mets history, or more like in this country's history, where he hit the go-ahead home run, 2-run homer against the Braves right after 9/11. It was about a week after 9/11, the first game back, and he hit a 2-run homer in the 8th inning, and that was considered very inspiring. Unfortunately, it would have been more inspiring if the Mets actually had enough to make the playoffs. And the crazy thing is, if I remember, Mets actually started cheering for the Yankees for that one season because of 9/11. So literally, when you say people came together, they came together, the pitch, and that has popped up, and no play going to happen. Cal Raleigh King at 85 pitches, so he's been getting beaten up quite a bit. Looking pretty bad for my fantasy team as well, but I'll take a losing fantasy team over Mariners losing. And the 2-2. And he doesn't chase after. That's going to be a 3-2 count. I like their shining jerseys, though. I'll give San Diego that. It looks nice.
Yeah, they've got good jerseys.
They really do. As we are looking at a 3-2, and now the pitch. And now here is that's a base hit to left field. And I think Cal Raleigh is going to get an extra base hit on that. He's going to second base with a stand-up double, but unfortunately with 2 outs, you have Randy Arozarena. He's up. Yeah, we're done. By the way, one of my uncles, he's a huge Padres fan, and last time I brought up 98 on him, when Tino hit that grand slam, he was like this: Joseph, my nephew, I love you, but go fuck yourself. He literally said that.
Hey, that should, that obviously isn't a great memory for the Padres, but man, that was crazy to see them in the World Series.
The craziest part was the pitch just before Tino hit the grand slam. It should have been a strikeout. And I tried to explain that to him, and he was like, he still said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that game 1. Had they won that, you always wonder how. It's like Mariners Astros, right? Like game 1, you wonder how the series would have played out with a different result. Not to bring up 2 awful memories, but
the Mariners would be the most likely team to take Wu out of a perfect game. Yes, that 98
counts like super low, but yeah,
it wasn't. At least the first game was a competition. As we are looking at the 1-1. I mean, the Yankees beat the crap out of everyone, including the Braves of 99. But most people remember 99 World Series with the Pete Rose controversy with Jim Gray, when Jim Gray was battering him with questions in the pitch. And here's a ground ball, nothing going to be doing, and that's going to tag Cal Raleigh out of there. And that is going to retire the side as we are going into top of the 6th inning. And this game has been in some way breezing along. Mariners or Rangers tomorrow. I wonder if I'm going to cover that game. I'm not sure yet. Depends on situation, as always. Casey, how are you doing? You didn't expect me on? I put everything out in the social media. But hey, I appreciate your presence on this show. Casey is the perfect fan for our content creating. She says that she supports everyone, which I'm okay with that. She supports Mariners Mojo. She supports Locked On Mariners. She supports Couch GM. She supports J Trident Podcast. She supports Rooftop Sports, Raise the Trident, East Coast M's, everyone you can name. Steve Silver. Is there any other content creators I'm missing? I think I just named them all.
I think that I know of. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but
I'm pretty sure that's all of them. Oh, there's Soto Mojo Podcasts. I mean, they're very active on Twitter. They're talking about grand slams. Oh, by the way, Steve and we talked about Luis Castillo, and one of our bold predictions, and maybe it's not so bold, that by the end of the season, both of us actually expect Luis Castillo to be one of the first pitchers to go, because Luis Castillo He's injured right now, and he has a really ginormous contract. And the choice is, do you trade Luis Castillo or do you trade any of those other starters going into arbitration? And it's like, I don't know.
It's a double-edged sword. I think Castillo's the one you'd like to trade because of the contract, but he has that no trade clause, and with that contract, it's going to be tougher to get better value for him. So I mean, Kirby, Logan, Wu, Miller are going to get you a lot more in a return. But I think if you had to offload one, you prefer it to be Castillo, but he's got the no trade clause and the big contract. So double-edged sword for which one, you know.
I would trade Castillo and see if we can get a bat out of it.
That would be
And then-
ideal. I think ideally.
And then
that's
swoop
what they
in
would
Blake
do.
Snell and bring him. And now the 0-1. And now here's a liner foul. And that could have been a base hit.
I mean, you could maybe even try to get something from Baltimore. Maybe they throw in like a Dean Kramer on the back end of their rotation, you know, something like that. So along with a bat, that wouldn't be a bad option either. Just to see if someone can take that money, though, is going to be tough, and no trade clause. So it makes it even tough. So he could just say no.
And we're looking at the 0-2 in the pitch. And that is up high for a ball. That's why it's going to limit the choices, because if Castillo is going to be traded to a bad team where it has a good bat, then Castillo's going to be like, heck no.
I honestly wonder to an extent if maybe Kirby is maybe the one you try and trade. I don't know.
Because I think he's a Scott Boras client, the pitch.
Oh, is
And
he?
that is inside
Oh,
for a
Logan.
ball. And Jared, I hope you're not putting in Jay Trident podcast in there. I mean, he's pretty well versed. I mean, he was one of the engines of my channel last year and still continues to be. He certainly was last year. The growth was very evident in the 2-2. And that is a fly ball to left field, and Rosarena makes the catch, and that is going to be one down.
This will probably be my
Castillo-
last inning. Thank you, Jared. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
This will probably be the
I could
last
be
one.
ignorant, but I'll
Okay, I
laugh
ha-
at my own ignorance. So
I mean, I've had people call me out on things. I was like, you know what? Fine. I stand corrected. Whatever.
oh, I say all the time, I've been wrong countless times. I don't come on.
I
here
was
to
wrong
try and
about
tell
Teoscar
people.
Hernandez. I was wrong about that. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he broke out, but I want to backtrack and say that the Mariners should have at least offered a blank check.
He wasn't going to come back, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't think it
But
would
if
have
he
mattered.
didn't come back, we get the first round pick.
Well, that was not the Blake. That would have been the I don't think it would have been a first round pick. Oh, for the even if they offer him a contract, I don't know how all that works, to be honest.
If
Because
you
there's the
offer
qualifying offer, but I don't think it's a first round pick. I don't know. Maybe it is.
It would have been a first round pick. Softy said, like, the Mariners signing Jeff Nelson very prematurely for the 2001 season, as we have a swing and a miss. That also cost the Mariners a first round pick for getting Jeff Nelson on a very premature way. Same thing with Raul Ibanez. Mariners also signed Ibanez really quickly because they thought the Royals were going to offer an extension, but they actually didn't. And had the Mariners waited, they would have had at least 2004 to have a first round pick. And now here's the 1-2. And that is outside for a ball. Yep. Yes, I expect him to. Jay Trident podcast always does as he could. I do think he missed the Sunday game, though. I do notice that.
I'm going to try. I'm a little bit. So I'm actually doing some classes and some testing for my job.
And here's a fly ball to right field, and Robles makes the catch.
Oh, so it might be up very late tonight, Casey, but I will definitely try to get it up. It's as Rooftop says, hashtag don't quit your day job, and now your night job as well. So
That job's killing you.
It is. This isn't too bad. Just trying to get this stuff done.
That was Jeff Nelson's. It was actually Jeff Nelson's second stint for 2001. His third stint was in 2005.
05. Yeah. I got his autograph in 05 in Oakland.
Yeah, Jeff Nelson, cool guy. And now the pitch. And that is popped up and fouled. Strangely enough, he actually follows my Twitter X. And I've been trying to get on my show, and it's like, he sees it, and it's like, why are you following me? What are you following me for?
Nelly.
You're following me, but you're not talking to me. Now, if you weren't following me, I get it. Now the 0-1. And that is outside for a ball as we are looking at the 1-1 count.
Get there, get there.
As we're looking at the 1-1. And now here's the pitch. And there is popped up. And who's going to catch that? And Rayleigh makes the catch. And I just have to say, that was a beautiful pitch by Brian Wu because he jammed him up. He did not hang it in the middle because that's Kirby's problem. His ball location is so good for the strike zone that it's also good for a hitter to hit a home run.
You know what? Honestly, that is a hey, Kevin, what's up? Casey, thank you so much for that kind comment. Honestly, comments like that, I know for me, I won't speak for Rooftop, but I'm sure he'd agree. Those comments keep me going, you know, because it is tough some days to keep doing it. So really the positivity means a lot. And Rooftop, I think that's honestly a really good point that you made there about Kirby, because like Wu is throwing just as many strikes this year as Kirby is. He might even be better if you go to Savant and look at his strike throwing percentages and all that stuff. But Wu has been so much better at like mixing it up in the strike zone. Whereas Kirby is just like you said, Kirby has been so in the zone almost to a detrimental, you know, a little bit. And like, listen, Kirby's not like he's having a good year. Every Mariner pitcher is having a good season, but it's just that like there are little things. And Kirby the last month, truthfully, hey, William, how's it going, man? I think I saw it was your birthday earlier. If it is, happy birthday, my friend. But yeah, no, I think you're and I agree, Jared. I think Wu is the best pitcher right now. Like the injury stuff makes me nervous, but
when I played softball,
if I could.
When I played softball, I made a lot of adjustments because in the early season, I kept hanging them in the middle. Like, yes, I refused to walk batters, but at the same time, it went literally down the middle and they just tanked them. And towards the end of the season, I tried to go like upside. And if it was like a really good hitter that was really just hitting me all game, I'll try to get a foul off of him. And then once I get the foul, I just walk him.
Yeah.
And then make the girl hit. My teammates noticed that.
And no one's asking Kirby, right, to be like a Gil Mesh and just nibble, where you can't, you know, everything is outside the zone. But he's just got to be more, I think, I don't know how you'd call it, but like effectively wild a little bit, like to your point. And I think Wu is, I wouldn't call him effectively wild, but he seems to be more in the zone, but not in the happy zone. I don't know if I word it, but
just don't put it in the dead zone. That's what Kirby and Castillo do. Like, yes, they don't walk people, but it comes at the cost of hitting home runs to the point where sometimes you wish that they do a walk once in a while. And the pitch to Rayleigh and a swing and a miss. And that is the end of the day for the Maiko. Now we have Adrian. He's also a pretty decent pitcher, 2.83 ERA. And now the pitch. I mean, I'm still going to hold on to the fact that Kirby is, I would say by next season, I think it's going to be either Gilbert or Kirby are going to be the projected aces. I don't expect Castillo to be the ace for next year, and I don't think he should, the 0-2.
Probably Logan. Like if it was tomorrow was opening day for next year, Logan probably gets
Logan
the ball.
would be the favorite, yeah.
Seniority too.
And then Wu could be number 3.
And there's no lefty, so you don't have to worry about going righty, lefty, righty, lefty. It just, I mean, you know, we'll see what they do next year for pitchers, but
I mean, I have an unpopular opinion. Why not Trevor Bauer? I mean, on an ownership financial perspective, it's like you got to do it. But of course, they don't want the PR disaster. They don't want the PR nightmare of Trevor Bauer. The 2-2, the pitch, and that is a ball. I mean, I've been heavily criticized on my Twitter part for wanting the idea of having Trevor Bauer on the team.
Right now, they don't need, you know, another. We'll see what they do in the offseason. I mean, my biggest concern with this team was Wu and Miller wearing down in September. I mean, they've been their best guys, honestly. Funny enough, like that would have been my biggest concern, and they've been holding strong. It's kind of the veterans that have, you know.
I think he said he would play for the league minimum. I think he did say he would play for league minimum, and right now he's just jamming it up in Texas. I mean, not Texas, Mexico, along with Robinson Cano. They're teammates, by the way. And Cano's been,
Jared,
he's been doing pretty well too.
Good news is, at least for next year with the bullpen, you are getting hopefully
Matt
Brash and
Brash.
Santos back. So that might help just right there. But yeah, no, the bullpen has low key been killed this team a little bit. Like the offense is the biggest culprit, but there was what 3 to 5 games this year that the bullpen. Then Jimmy Garcia's injury, Gabe Spire falling off. It's been the bullpen's been a little rough. Like thankfully, Colin Snyder has been.
He just came out of nowhere. He's been one of
Yeah.
those golden gems once again. I mean, the bullpen has been like the way to explain the bullpen. They are the 97 bullpen with a low ERA. So they give it up when it really, really matters.
Yeah, Casey's right. It's just been gutted. It's just been so much injury, some underperformance,
And we were talking about how much. I remember I made a video along with you. We were talking about how this could be the most dangerous bullpen in baseball. Like we were hyping it. And the next thing you know, Matt Brash gets an injury.
Bullpens are so volatile. I mean, even like you can have a bullpen that's great the next year. It's not. Relievers are pitching in such short outings. It's hard to say.
Jared says, even without the injuries, it's still not a championship pen. I don't blame you for saying it. The 2-0. Like Munoz, I still don't think that he's the closer of the future. As much as I like Munoz and he has like a really cool fastball and everything, he's too inconsistent and very erratic. And we did have a closer. And I remember I said we needed a closer on top of Paul Sewald, but Paul Sewald was the closer. And I was criticizing him, the 3-0. And ball 4. The umpire would usually call that, but that's ball 4.
Hasn't Sewald been pretty rough though? Didn't he get demoted? I don't know. I haven't kept up recently.
He did get demoted, but hey, the Mariners could have swooped in with something to get him back.
Maybe.
And they technically can get him in free agency, but after what Paul Sewald said about the management and the organization when they traded him, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, the bullpen's really an area where I don't blame Jerry too much for what's happened in the bullpen. I mean, even the Jimmy Garcia thing, got him, looked great, then got hurt. He was out. I think there's just been a lot of stuff that kind of went wrong there that's hard to, I'm still in terms of, I'd like to move on from Jerry, but to me, it's not the bullpen issues. I think those have been out of his control a little bit.
Our starters should be going at least 7 innings. Well, we all agree with that. But hey, Castillo gets 7 innings when he's getting tanked.
Yeah, there were some head scratchers when they would leave guys in and take them out. And just, again, Scott wasn't pushing any right button anymore. It was just, everything was incorrect, and I'm not saying it's easy to make those decisions, but you got to make them right. And you got to get someone in there that can. And I think Dan's been better so far.
Yeah, for sure about Dan, even though there's times where I can still wish for a better lineup, but what more can I wish for at this point? And man, Jared's really on fire with his comments. I just won't show it, but if you're a fan of my channel, you want to read it, there you are. I won't delete it. But hey, Jared, I have a hot take. Based on what you're saying, I was okay with the narrative that Kevin Mather got, like when they were talking about Julio and the interpreter. I jumped on that wagon, and no bunting. It's going to be 2-0. What I'm saying was they accused Kevin Mather of being, how should I say it? It just starts with an R and ends with a T. I think we all can understand what that means, right? And now the 2-0. And that is a strike. Okay, I'm just going to say it. When they accused Mather of being a racist because of what he said about Julio's not bad English and that interpreter, I was totally on that narrative. I was like, yes, if this gets Kevin Mather out of a job, I'm in. Got him out of the job. And the 2-1. And flick of the switch, where were you at? You weren't here for the national anthem. And but hey, Jared, which part of the joke was it? Was it a joke like how he got out, or was it the joke of what the stuff he said? Because I had more concerns when he was talking about Kyle Seager, like, yeah, this is going to be his last year of his contract. He's not coming back. It's like, whoa, man, you don't say that. And now here is the 2-2. And that's a foul ball.
This will probably have to be
flick.
my last batter.
All right, all good. I just got to get my relief pitcher to my show. This call to the bullpen will be brought to you by, I'm going to say, top 7. And now we are looking at the 2-2. And that gets away, and that's going to advance the runners for sure, and they will.
Well, and the more runs you can put up here, it's better for Brian Wu too. More likely to, not that his pitch counts in any trouble, but you don't get in that. Oh, it's still a tight game. It's 1-0. You're trying to hold on, so you can kind of be more free and easy.
Jared, he
Thanks,
should
Casey.
be fired, and no, it shouldn't. Not for the Julio thing, but it was for his Kyle Seager and Jared Kelnick comments. That should have, and he was incompetent either way. The 3-2. And why did you swing at that Jorge Polanco? You could have loaded the bases. Why would you do that to yourself? Come on. I mean, Kevin Mather was running that whole 95 thing, and he had that sexual harassment case against him. So he already had baggage before he got.
All right, Roof.
Not,
I'm out. Love you guys.
You're out.
Appreciate you having me on as
3-2.
always. Thank
oh,
you.
here's a fly ball. Could this be sacrificed? Nope. But
I
yes,
thought off the bat too. It looked a little better off the bat.
But yes, Trident, thank you for being here for the 9/11 special. Thanks for sharing your stories. As usual,
Yep.
Thank you for being here. And have yourself a good night. And please make sure you get that video out at the end of the game.
I will do my best. Well, especially, I mean, we'll see how this one ends. So it may be a very special one. So thank you again. Thank you, everybody here. Have a good one. Jared, Casey, Riley, Williams in here. My man Flicks in here. Love y'all. Take care. And let's get that
Take
done.
care. Go
Later.
M's. What's with these dang A's? Yeah, the Oakland A's are kind of a troll job team, aren't they? And now we are looking at the 1-0 for JP Crawford. And now here's the pitch. And that is a foul ball. Bro is at 18 pitches already. Yup, because 20 pitches. Over and under on them pulling Wu after 7. They better not pull him. And now we're looking at the 1-1 for JP Crawford and the pitch. And a foul ball again. He is still continuing to struggle. Trying to get my friend Ian on here. We got quite a bit of activity on this show, and I think it has something to do with that 9/11 kind of special that I made into. I mean, check out the banner that I made. And we're looking at the 1-2. And now here's the pitch. Up high for a ball, 2-2. And after this, you'll have the bases loaded for Julio Rodriguez, which not really looking forward to. Pulling him would be the dumbest move that Dan could make. It would be a Scott Service type move if he pulls Brian Wu after a perfect game. And now the 2-2. And y'all jinxed it anyway. I do have quite a fan base here. Got Jared with his fiery comments. I love it. In a passionate kind of way. Not saying that I should agree with him on a YouTube perspective, because if I do, then my YouTube channel's dead. And just Dustin, you didn't see anything. Don't look at it again. The 3-2. And popped up and fouled again. I mean, you got to let Brian Wu keep fighting through it. You just got to. But yeah, Dan Wilson, he's not even a shell of Lou Piniella, unfortunately. It just doesn't feel that way. As we're looking at the 3-2 and the pitch. And now here's the line drive, and that is a base hit, and that's going to score in 2 runs. Here comes Luke Raley, and now here comes that other run. That is Justin Turner, and now that's going to be a 5-0 lead on a 1-out, 2 RBI double by JP Crawford. What a hit by JP to extend this lead. And if only Jay Trident podcast, if only you waited for a few more minutes, at least toward the end of the inning. Oh, Trident. What's a show without you, or a show with you? The pitch, and that's going to be a strike. That's impossible. Can't pull him. Dan Wilson knows better. You would think so. And now we're looking at the 1-0. 0-1 for Josh Rojas. Can he keep it going? And now the pitch. And now here is a ground ball weakly and the toss over the first in time. And did I say Julio Rodriguez was on deck for the bases loaded? My bad. We got Victor Robles. He's going to be up to the plate. But yes, I'm glad that I have provided a space for you guys. Miles, especially Jared, Casey. I mean, this is the channel where comments are welcome. All comments are welcome. Just don't send me a spam link or anything, or just don't send any porn links or whatever. And most importantly, do not send me links that says, hey, do you want to learn how to make $100,000 while taking a poop in the toilet? Which, speak of, I got to go to the bathroom. Be right back, but please enjoy at least this ad.
Modern Exterior Solutions is a fully licensed and insured full-service exterior renovations company serving Seattle and East Side communities. We know that a home is one of your most important possessions. That's why we're committed to providing high-quality, affordable home renovations for each customer's individual budget. We're diverse enough to meet the challenges of any project you put in front of us. Our workmanship minimizes the use of third-party services, and our team works together to meet all your deadlines. Anytime there's a challenge, we work with you to find a solution. We are proud to work with distributors of quality brand products with durable, ample protection from the elements for a variety of applications, including James Hardie siding and trim. Talk with us today about your project's needs, and we can help you solve all the challenges along the way.
All right. Anything goes, even with the people. Casey, what I meant to say is just don't send me people. Just don't send me porn links. Other than that, you can send whatever you want. Hey, do you want to? Oh, you guys. All right. Do you want to learn about pooping on the toilet? What am I going to do without you guys? I'm going to say it. Without you guys, there is no YouTube. No, I'm like, yeah, don't send me that link. You guys send me that link, then yeah, I'm probably going to block you for that. I mean, I probably won't, but if you guys send me 10 of them, please don't. It'll make my channel look really bad. And the 1-1. And that is a foul ball. Oh, you guys. And we're looking at the 1-2 for Victor Robles. And now the pitch. Inside, that nearly got him. And that is going to be a 2-2 count. Julio Rodriguez is on deck. Will be the next batter if Robles can prolong this inning. And the 2-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's going to retire the side. But hey, the good news is Mariners got 2 runs on that. And now they lead 5-0. I'm trying to get Ian onto this show.
That won't be necessary.
Okay. How about a second opinion from the other Mr. Washington?
Are you a Chemist Rewards member?
Yeah. Why?
It's the only local players card that gives you the lowest possible rates on rooms and room upgrades, not to mention food and drinks throughout the property.
So I'm taking these back, right?
With Chemist Rewards, only at Northern Quest.
Will Wu come back in? That is a big question. It's no word of him coming out. I mean, he has no reason to be out of this game. He has 64 pitches in 6 innings. What, Altuve might be injured? Okay, let's not celebrate his injuries. Let's not do the yes exclamation mark. Come on, you guys. I mean, I know what you mean, but it's like, come on, let's not go that crazy. Especially the whole Mitch Garver comments. Like, the thing was, and yeah, Jose Altuve looks like he was in some kind of pain. But the thing is, he's not too concerned, and he says he will see how he feels. So it looks like he still should be okay. Oh, Kevin Kirby. We need to be a more hardcore as a fan base. Oh, Jared, I love you. Hey, Jared, I got questions. Have you tried your commenting style on like Mariners Mojo and like Locked On Mariners and Raise the Trident? Have you guys tried that for anything? Have you tried that before? Have you tried them? Like, have you put comments on those? Like the same comments that you're putting on my channel, which I'm allowing, by the way, even if it is politically charged or whatever. And now here is Brian Wu. He's out. He's out here right now. The pitch low for a ball. And great job, Root Sports. Thank you for reminding us of how Brian Wu is actually doing. We're not supposed to talk about that right now. And now we're looking at the 1-0. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. They either complain or block these sort of comments. Yeah, they would. I mean, Moraine Layer Podcast won't engage, but at least they won't block you. I mean, have you tried Mojo? I dare you to try it on them. And Couch GM probably will just ignore it too. And now it's popped up. And someone should be there. JP Crawford's calling it. And he makes the catch. I know, it seems like it seems to be just to be Jay Trident Podcast and myself. And yet, they get all the attention. But it's okay. It's all in the grind, right? It's all part of the grind. I mean, they got how they got, so it's my turn to get how I get. And now we've got... And Root Sports, stop reminding me how Brian Wu is doing. And now the pitch. And that is... He did not go. And our buddy's here.
9/11.
Doing...
May
Yep.
it never be forgotten. Just like
Nope.
this Mariners team, may it never be forgotten how bad we are.
And now we're looking at the 1-0 so far for Fernando Tatis, the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to left field. And that was a laser. And there goes the perfect game. And Root Sports, this is all your fault for reminding how Brian Wu is actually doing, as that's a home run by Fernando Tatis Jr. And here is my reaction to the blown up perfect game.
You know, I got to say this. I didn't want to say anything because I had seen it earlier, but what Brian Wu has done tonight has proven he's probably the ace of this squad. And it's no joke to me. Brian Wu has his stuff.
But man, Tatis killed it again, man.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you pay millions of dollars and you get a guy who actually knows how to hit the ball.
He does. And now we're looking at the next hitter. And now there's the pitch to Profar. And that is a ball.
How many pitches was Wu at when he blew the game? I'm just curious.
Hey, what?
How many pitches was he at before when that perfect game was blown?
It was around 69.
He's having a hell of a game.
Really is. The pitch. Root Sports making sure Wu doesn't blow past his pitch limit. Yep. That sounds about right. You are absolutely correct. We can blame Root Sports for reminding that they were pitching a perfect game. You just don't even say it until it's over.
That's like really frustrating.
Pitch. And that is up high for ball. You know, I'm going to document that and put that on my YouTube channel. I'm going to say, did Root Sports jinx Brian Wu's perfect game performance? And I'm going to put like the little banner thing. And he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
And now the pitch. And that is a strike.
I don't really know what to say about that. It's depressing.
Now we're looking at the 2-2 for Jurickson Profar. And now the pitch. And now here's a liner, and that's going to be a base hit. And looks like Profar is going to go to second base. And we've got a man on second with a double. Like, we literally just went from a perfect game performance to the the Padres actually could be coming back.
Well, if they do and they win it, again, it's just we can blame Root Sports. I don't know what else to say.
We're going to blame this on Root Sports. Flick of the Switch says, when are you going to stream a Seahawks game? I'll stream them on Monday Night Football, September 30th. That's when I'll do it.
Not allowed to do Sunday football games for them?
No, I just can't because I never had the time because that's when my other job is at its heat.
Oh.
When are you going to stream a Seahawks game? I don't know yet, but you really want to see that side, don't you, Flick of the Switch?
He wants to hear you sing the 7th inning stretch again.
Yeah, he totally does. I mean, Flick of the Switch, I hope you're ready for that too. And now we're looking at Manny Machado. And now the pitch. And that is a strike for Manny Machado.
Dang, I had so much to say when I was going to get on this show, and then they just blew the perfect game. I was really excited.
And I think this could be Brian Wu's final inning, too. It does seem that way.
That'd be fucked up. Sorry, pardon my language.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
You shouldn't be pulling a guy after scoreless.
No, you shouldn't. And the 0-2. I mean, not even scoreless anymore anyway.
Yeah, again, it's just another. I don't know what to say. I'm just not happy about the whole blowing the perfect game is upsetting to me.
And now we're looking at the 0-1 and 2 to Machado, and it's getting low. And now Brian Wu is starting to lose a little bit of his control.
Yeah, he's probably losing his confidence.
You know, it's crazy. I used to be really good friends with Jackson Felts, too. Long story. If Rooftop would just click on the link and learn how to make, he wouldn't have to work so much. I know. And now the pitch. We're up 5-1. What do you mean upset about? Hey, I'm upset that Root Sports blew the perfect game. They nuked it to pieces. So we're looking at the 2-2 so far. Manny Machado is now, up to the plate still. 2-2 so far. And now we're looking at the 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down he goes, Manny Machado.
That was a great strikeout there.
Really was. And also, I have a treat for you guys for the 7th inning stretch. And I will do it after I sing real quickly. And I know Flick of the Switch is going to hate that, but I love him to hate it. But I have a special treat for you guys once again for the 7th inning stretch. And the video is uploading right now. And
Sorry,
now
my stat checking.
And that is a strike for Jake Cronenworth. And why are you always sitting in the dark? Stay in the light, man.
Me?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. That's good. The pitch. 1-1 to count.
We need it right here.
One for the Brian Wu. Now the pitch. 1-2 the count on a strike. And Brian Wu, once again, has been pitching pretty well, with the exception of giving up a home run and, unfortunately, that double. Telling you, Root Sports, they jinxed it to the core.
They didn't want Brian Wu to have a good game.
I think Scott Service is working for Root Sports right now, secretly. He snuck that in there.
Scott Service is looking at this team and pissed off that they've even won a couple games.
Now, looking at the 1-2, Ian, you did it again.
Sorry.
Now the 1-2, and that is going to be up high for a ball. 2-2.
I'm checking the Astros thing real quick.
It's okay. And look at the switch. You are right. Ian is taking a big fat bong off the. Oh, flick.
No, I was checking the fact that the Astros
they lost the game 2-2 and fouled again. And I really do think, I hate to say it, this could actually be Brian Wu's final inning. I think it's going to be. He's on 85 pitches, 7th inning. Troy Taylor's probably going to take over. That sounds about right.
Flick of the switch out here has got me cracked up thinking I'm taking
Everyone has got. We need Chad here to join the party. And now the 2-2 pitch. Foul again. William Cook, what are you saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always in the dark. Just don't turn on the light.
Now we're looking at the 2-2. And now the pitch. 3-2 the count. And we're looking at the 3-2. And now the pitch. And lined and fouled.
Another day.
We're looking at the 3-2 for Jake Cronenworth. And now here's the pitch. Up high for ball 4. And at this point, I think, wouldn't be surprised, but I think Dan Wilson is going to do it. I think he's going to pull him.
6 2/3 of an inning, and I think we got to pull him. I just wish he managed his pitch count better this inning. I think that home run really took it all out of him.
It really took his confidence away.
Yep.
Look, he's thinking about what kind of snacks to get into. Man, what is flick? And yep, there he goes. We call that Dan Wilson is going to pull him, and I think he has seen enough. But wouldn't be surprising that he's going to get a huge standing ovation, and he does deserve it.
Flick of the switch is fantasizing over there, apparently.
Yeah, it really is. And Brian Wu is leaving, and he is going to get that well-deserved standing ovation. Very good performance by Brian Wu. It's just that the perfect game just got away from him because Root Sports literally destroyed it.
It's also on Fox today on FS1.
What is on? Oh, the game?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's on FS1, so I could have had this on. I could have had it on my YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check that for sure.
I was just watching it on Hulu. Let me double check, but it should be on Hulu FS1.
If it's on FS1, I'm going on my YouTube TV for that.
Yeah, it's on FS1.
You are correct. I think I'm going to change it. Screw you, Root Sports.
As you should. As you should. Yeah, it's been on FS1. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Yeah, you probably should be. I'm going to go to it right now.
Then you don't have to watch the horrible announcing from Root Sports.
Yeah, I'd rather hear some objective. Well, maybe it's Aaron Goldsmith. I'm pretty sure it's him today. Goldsmith he's not like overly fantastic, but he's also not disastrously horrible. That's Aaron Goldsmith. He's just there. Like, he's not great, but he's also not bad. Dave Sims is just bad.
I've never liked Dave Sims. I only really ever liked Dave Niehaus, rest in peace, and Rick Riz. I didn't really like anyone else we had.
Troy Taylor's now, he's now up on the mound. He's been outstanding for the Mariners this season, and it's not Aaron Goldsmith, by the way.
Who is it?
No, I don't even know. And now we're looking at 5-1 so far with Xander Bogaerts up on the mound or up on the plate. And now the pitch. And that is right down in the middle for a strike. Big bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know, I have the healthy keto version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
actually good.
He's fallen for that TB12 method.
The TB12. Now the pitch. And now here's a line drive, and that's going to get right over for a base hit, and that might score in the run. That's going to score in the run. And now it is now 5-2, and now good thing the Mariners scored 2 more of those runs. Otherwise, it would have been too close to the game, and now it's cutting it close. And can we blame Root Sports for this?
Yeah, I think Root Sports kind of screwed us tonight.
Which is why I'm not watching it on theirs anymore. I swear to God, Ian puts down Dave Niehaus every time he's on. Wait, what?
I talk about him, but that's because he's a great announcer. What can I say?
He is a great announcer.
He was arguably probably better than most teams ever had, and we were lucky enough to have him and Rick Riz. Doesn't get much better than that.
Rick Riz is my favorite. Goodbye, baseball!
My favorite is when he says, "Holy smokes!"
Holy smokes!
But I still
and now
think my
the
favorite
pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. I mean,
there's nothing.
When Rick Riz was on TV, there was nothing more exciting than that.
Yeah.
After the 5th inning, he comes on and it makes it sound like it's playoff atmosphere no matter what.
Flick of the switch, I guess, is not like my support of Dave Niehaus.
I guess so. The pitch and foul ball, strike 2. And now, if I were the fans, you gotta cheer as loud as you can and give them the encouragement. You can't really hear them well because it's all about. I mean, there's hardly any fans there today. Where's the turnout? As we're looking at the 1 and 2, the pitch low for a ball. And you can't really blame Troy Taylor for the situation that he's in. I mean, Brian Wu did unfortunately dig himself into a hole. It's just that the Padres finally figured him out.
No, there is no comparison. And yeah, this game is, as Dustin said, the bullpen is sus. Yeah, our bullpen is
the pitch
so inconsistent.
It's filled with pus, I'll tell you that.
It's as about as inconsistent as a brand new relationship.
Would you rather? I've had one of those before, really bad.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the 3-2 full count. And now here is the full count. And it's a ground ball, and Jackson Merrill is fighting it off.
Would you rather what, Rooftop?
Would you rather live in a Sarlacc pit or watch this bullpen?
Watch this bullpen.
I guess so. Because Sarlacc pit is death.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I feel like I am in a Sarlacc pit watching this team.
That's facts.
3-2. Fouled again. And I think even after this inning, I don't think Troy Taylor is going to get another inning. He did not get out of it quick enough. Or he hasn't even gotten out of it at all. Jared says, Sims is not even an MLB caliber announcer. Yeah, it's true. He really isn't. He's just unlistenable. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to retire the side. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And you know what? I'm going to skip Take Me Out to the Ball Game because I got something else better for you guys. I just have to do this. I'm just going to skip it entirely. But here it is. Here's the treat that I have for you all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't.
Well, the game is back, so I can't finish it. So I'm totally not an American for doing that. So I'm ready for the flick jokes on that. All right, and here's the next pitch to Julio. And that is a strike. And as of the request for Flick of the Switch, I will play the Toby Keith version after this, as we are looking at a 1-0 count on Julio Rodriguez. And now the pitch. And that is popped up. And that is going to be caught. He sang this live all through the 80s, all over the country. Even though he jinxed Felix's perfect game, 6 straight innings, he got it anyway. Yeah, it seems like Root Sports really did try.
That was a pretty interesting effort. I had forgotten how young Andy Pettit looked in that photo there, and Bernie Williams. And
Andy Pettit was like, he was that very consistent Yankee pitcher for sure. And now the pitch, and that is inside for a ball.
I mean, with so much, without getting politically, with so much division in the country right now, I think that was the last time we all as a country really got behind and together, was after the 9/11 attacks. Truthfully, it was the last time it felt like anything.
And you know, was the starting death blow was the 2008 recession, and that's when I noticed when fingers really started pointing.
Yeah, it's true.
Jared, I'm not going that far. Sorry. I don't want to get my YouTube demonetized. Sorry, I can't do it.
Hey, oh, Jared, what are we doing here?
This is Jared at its full force.
He's trying to get you banned.
Jared, don't do this to me. I'm not protected by Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro, so I can't. The pitch. And that is popped up. And it's going to be caught. And on a 3-0 count, too.
It's more than a song, Jared. Sorry.
Yeah, Jared, no, I'm not. Tell that to the YouTube. Now, if I was on a live stream on Rumble, maybe. Probably would do that. I'm not taking that risk. Sorry, buddy. Man, imagine if I had raised the Trident on this show and I was playing all this stuff. I think he'd have a meltdown.
The Trident?
No, not J Trident. J Trident's cool. I'm talking about the other Trident.
Oh, yeah, you would for sure be
he would have left the show.
Yeah.
And he'd be sweating.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at the 1-0. Oh, why is he doing that? Randy Rosarena, why are you doing that? He's been stepping back so many times. I don't even know. I don't get it.
Maybe he's uncomfortable today.
The pitch. And that is a foul ball.
Yes, Flick, they do.
As we are looking at the 1 and 2 so far. And he steps out for time. Deshaun Watson is playing against the Jaguars. Man, the Browns really shouldn't have gotten him. They should have kept Baker Mayfield. As we are looking at the 1 and 2 pitch. And now here it is. And now here's a fly ball to deep right field. Is that carrying? Is that still going? And that is caught by Tatis, and he catches it. He robs an extra base hit, if not a home run, and what a catch by Tatis. And that's going to retire the side. And flick of the switch, I have a treat for you. Since you really wanted it so badly, I'm probably not going to be able to play the entire thing, obviously, so you're just going to have to deal with it. But fine, here you go.
You already know Flick's happy about this.
Worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom.
Dang, he's gassing him up.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
You said Toby Keith, man.
Who died, who gave
I guess he just didn't want the beautiful pictures of him.
What I think is worse is you have Never Forget underneath Toby Keith.
Oh, Lee Green, that's what it is. I played the wrong one. Okay, I have a better idea. There, I think that's better. There, how's that? You can't see anything.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea.
Here, I'll take it even further. Watch this.
Detroit down to Houston.
Sorry, Kevin, we can't get them out.
Oh.
Where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say,
are you proud to be an American, Rooftop?
That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
And we are back from the break.
Are you proud to be an American?
Am I? I don't know. I'm proud enough to do the 9/11 remembrance.
That's just crazy you put that up, and then I saw Toby Keith, and it says Never Forget underneath. I'm like, dang, forgot he died too.
What did I do? Isn't that quite the unfortunate timing?
Jared, stop. You're going to literally get us banned, Jared.
Yeah, Jared, stop it!
You can't say that stuff.
Jared, you're gonna get me in trouble, man. Okay, can you please do this on Raise the Trident? I dare you. Have you even commented on his YouTube channel?
Probably not.
It hasn't reached out to him, I guess.
He's trying to get you banned, I guess.
This is mild. Jared.
I don't want to know what your non-mild hot sauce is if this is mild, Jared.
If this was a mild hot sauce at McDonald's, my tongue burns already. Imagine the hot sauce. I'd probably lose my tongue.
They just cut it off.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Yeah, can I get that Big Mac? Would you like the hot sauce? No, I want the Gerald mild sauce. Jared, do you really want me to do this? You just can't...
Do it.
Here's the thing. Okay, Jared, here's the thing. Just don't mention my name in it. And...
Oh, stop, Flick. Flick.
How old are you guys? I know Flick of the Switch definitely gives me those Gen X vibes.
Flick of the Switch out here is killing me, man.
If it were really bad, YouTube chat filters wouldn't even let it through. Oh, well, I don't know. Just don't want to risk it.
Better safe than sorry.
By the way, fun fact, Raise the Trident and I had a war for a second, which was not good. He tried to put some narrative against me, and I shot back. I was like, well, you're attacking a person of color. So how do you feel about that? And then he deleted it and blocked me. I was like, you messed with the bear, you messed with the bull, you'll get the horns.
You got him scared because you weren't what he thought you were.
Nope. Oh, Jared. The pitch. Oh, a fly ball to right field, but Robles is there, and he makes the catch.
No, we can't get Tatis out of Seattle. Sorry, guys. He's here to stay.
Yeah, he's here to stay, man.
I would love a Fernando Tatis on this team. Mariners management, if you're listening, please, please, please go sign somebody, Mariners management. Anybody.
Wait, he tied his mental health on how to do well, on how well to do what?
Oh, I see what he's trying to say.
He tied his mental health to how well the M's do in a season.
Sorry, Jared just made a great comment.
I think I know exactly what that video was.
Jared out here still sending gas responses.
Very much. He's very gassy. It's full of hot sauce. Even McDonald's hot sauce cannot compete with that. Even the habanero sauce from Restaurante de Mexicano cannot compete with that.
Jared out here only runs hot. There is no cold in his life.
Nope. And now the pitch. And now here's a ground ball right to gonna be a double play ball. No, it didn't have to be a double play. It's gonna be woo! Got out of that inning.
Only two more. Well, only 2 innings left.
Mariners, I would like to get some insurance run in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, but we won't. So let's just be thankful we have 5.
Yeah. I don't want to compare myself, but I already said it. But the funny thing is, Raise the Trident got. I think I already talked about this yesterday, but he has he started his YouTube channel with all the networks. He's really good friends with Mariners Mojo. Has all the networks. Even Simply Seattle hooked him up with some Mariners gear. Guess how much I got out of Simply Seattle? Nothing.
That's because
had no connections. Huh?
They probably don't know you exist.
They probably still don't know I exist. And yet, I'm not trying to compare the game or anything, but I happen to have more subs than he does, and yet he has all the connections and the resources. I started from literally ground freaking zero.
I'm trying to remember when I should look at Instagram when I first found out of your thing.
Yeah, what was it? It had to be a reel.
Shoot. It's going to take a second, but we'll get all the way back there. Hold on.
Yeah, Ian is trying to learn how to. He's trying to poop in the toilet while trying to make $100,000. So that's his plan right now.
No, I'm just gonna start using my laptop and putting you guys on that, and then I'll start using my phone for something else.
Yeah, pretty much.
RoofTopSports.
He's trying to find it.
Just trying to see how long I've been.
Ugh, excuse me. And we are back from the break.
I've followed you for a long time. The question is when did I first start?
You probably followed me before I even got to 1,000 subscribers.
I followed you before when you changed the name of this account. I followed you since then.
Oh, when I called it Rooftop Sports rather than Rooftop Mariner, and the pitch to Luke Raley, yeah. And that is low for a ball. Ever since I changed that, that's when my subscriber count started to accelerate.
Yeah. I can't. Mariner,
Rooftop Mariner was just too niche of a subject. Like
it was, but honestly, it was a great one. I can't remember if it was you or it might have been another Mariners account. But I dropped the news on Robbie Ray before everyone else had it, and they got to post it.
What were they saying?
Well, it was way before. I just had an inside source about the deal, and so I gave it to them, and they had posted it, and then it's like every other Trident, everyone else off that post just started posting about it right after. But I don't think it was to you.
Oh, yeah. I hear the lighter flicking in the darkness. So he's basically explaining his own name as we're looking at the 2-2 for Luke Raley. And now the pitch inside for a ball that nearly hit Luke Raley. Elias Diaz is taking over for catcher.
Dude, if Trident ever came into this chat and saw it, he'd go home crying. This is insane.
He actually might try to get me demonetized. That's why I might delete the comment.
Yeah, I might. That's crazy. I've never seen that.
Sorry, Jared, I have to. Sorry, buddy. And
oh my goodness, this next one's even
I was hoping that wasn't some weird okay. Woo!
Man, that hot sauce is getting to you, isn't it?
That is the hot. Oh, and here is a fly ball to not deep right field, and Tatis catches it again.
Fernando Tatis is having a monster series.
Yes, he is. And the worst part of it, I benched him on my fantasy baseball team.
For who?
Let's see who I played today that I shouldn't have.
There's nothing.
Brandon Nimmo.
I'm starting to question your managerial skills here, Rooftop.
And now here's a bunting effort by Polanco. Foul ball. Actually, I might as well just do it right now. I'm extending you an invite to my fantasy baseball league. You'll be the 10th guy.
Sure, I'll be happy to join it.
$25 buy-in, and you'll also be with the Jay Trident podcast, who's also in my league. Cool. Right now, I'm in the semifinals against the McLovin.
Is this for next season? I'll join you guys.
Next season.
It's fine. At least I would not be benching Tatis for Brandon Nimmo. I'll tell you that right now.
What have I done?
What was your justification for benching him?
I was scared of the Mariners pitching.
Yeah.
But for Brandon freaking Nimmo, though, who also went 0 for 3.
Yeah.
The pitch and foul ball. We've got 2 outs, and you would think that Andres Munoz is going to be the closer. Scott Spezia, that's a name to remember.
Yummy.
Man, what's with all these people? Everyone's going on a firestorm today. The pitch. And that is outside for a ball, 1-2.
3 outs away.
3 outs away from hopefully a victory. Jared, stop it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh, Jared. Oh, Jared.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Jared. You're going to somehow have to make Rooftop block you on here, and that's crazy.
I don't want to do that. The pitch. Low for a ball, 3-2.
Jared definitely has that conservative mind.
I think that's the built of like the majority of my audience. I don't even know one. PK. Why? I literally opened Pandora's box.
Trident's gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, "What are all these comments in my?"
He doesn't even. He blocked me anyway, so his loss.
Isn't it? What's he? I forget which app is he on?
He's on Twitter X, which he blocked me. He blocked me on that one. We had a couple shows we had
it's just Mariners Trident, correct?
No, it's Raise the Trident. Oh, Jared, I hope you're right. And if it does, I'll credit you for that.
Oh, this dude?
Yeah. All the freaks are funneling to your podcast after getting banned from others, maybe. You know, I like that idea. Think about it. Let's say you go on Mojo or Raise a Try and saying, oh, Jerry DePoto's a horrible GM. Or at the time, Scott Service is a horrible manager. And guess what happens? They get blocked and banned, and they'll all be coming to me.
The guy who straight up looks like he's a conservative man himself. Trident should not be what he is.
Next subject.
All right. Anyways.
Oh, actually, question. Where were you when 9/11 happened? Now we're going all serious and dark. And actually, every one of you put it in the comments and tell me where exactly you are during 9/11. Where were you, Ian?
I was in front of a TV and I actually watched the second tower get hit live.
Wait, how old are you now? I thought you were like in your early 20s at least.
Yeah, I'm in my mid-20s.
So you were about like probably 5 years old when you must be even more traumatizing to see it when you're 5. I saw it when I was 9.
Yeah, I saw it when I was a little bit older, and I remember because I would think we were. I want to say it was right before school started, so the TV was on, and it was just on the news, and I remember seeing it and watching it live, and how the day unfolded and everything. It was I still have actual memories, not of what people say, but I do definitely remember the somber tone and how everyone was just in shock of what had just happened, and it was really.
Jared is a classical Gen X.
Third period Spanish class senior year. Wow, Jared is a.
Jared, hola, ¿cómo está? Me llamo Jose, ¿y tú? As we got Andres Munoz on the mound. Has a strike on this guy, Profar. And that's going to be low for a ball. You walked into the common room at school in your sophomore year in high school. All the TV monitors were on, and there were a bunch of people huddled in the main office also watching the TV in there. Dustin, you were 11. I was 9. The pitch. Oh, and this is where Munoz's erratic style comes into play, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was 5, so all different ages, all interesting to see it.
As we're looking at the 2-1 for Profar, the pitch. And that gets in there for a strike with that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. You have 3 chicks in the bed at night.
Wow, Rooftop still knows how to speak Spanish. I do too, but we're gonna let.
I've actually gone on a date 100% in Spanish before.
Please, without saying it in Spanish, how did it turn out?
Más o menos. Más o menos. No especial. The pitch. It was fun, though. You got an A in high school in Spanish. Getting an A in Spanish in high school is actually easy.
Yeah, Spanish is not that bad.
Spanish was actually fun. Now, Spanish was actually, yeah.
Did anyone else look at you weird when you were speaking full Spanish on a date and you were like?
No one really. I never really got attention. And in one of my other jobs, I do speak a lot of Spanish because my boss is Hispanic, my other coworker is Hispanic. The pitch, and that's a foul ball. Please, without saying it in Spanish, how did it turn out? I'm dead.
Casey, I was just trying to make it for all you non-Spanish speaking people to understand what he was trying to say.
And now we're looking at the 1-2, and now here's the pitch, low for a ball. One of my friends in high school, when it was the Mariners, so he had to take a test in class, and that's when the Mariners were playing. He actually put a radio in his head. Like, he actually put the earbuds, and that is strike 3, and we've got 2 outs, and it is game time. So he put he put a little earpiece in his ear so he could listen to the Mariners game, and the teacher, of course, caught him. and he almost got suspended. They're like, "So why do you have an earpiece?" I was listening to the Mariners game, and they're like, "Okay, carry on." I mean, he already knew he was going to ace the test. He just wanted to listen to the Mariners game and the pitch, and that is a strike.
I used to do that on day games. I'd bring a radio and I'd turn it on to listen to it in school.
Yeah, I should have done it more. Now we're looking at the 0-1 by Munoz. 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Chill, Casey.
I was watching this, holding on to my.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you might want to delete that one, Rooftop.
I'm good. And now the 1-1, and that is a strike.
That's the craziest comment I think I've ever seen. Jared, I guess, is used to this talking from Casey.
Oh, we've got.
Is she one of your?
We all
ladies
opened
is
Pandora's box on
Mikasa's and your
dirtiness.
ladies?
By the way, 1-2, and here's the pitch. And now here's a ground ball right to second baseman Polanco, throw to first, and the Mariners have settled for a split of the series. They win 5-2, and more importantly, they pick up a game on the Houston Astros, and now they should be 3.5 back on the Houston Astros. And let's double check that standing.
They should be 3.5. They did lose today. The A's did win.
They did. They are 3.5 games back. And now I'm inviting all of you fools.
It turns out that Jared and Casey are having quite the
they're having
combo.
quite the chemistry.
Yeah, I can see that chemistry sparking.
Unless they are all taken, if you know what I mean. If they're taken, it's
I'm
like,
sorry,
what the hell
but-
are you doing?
Jared, I'll give you that. That was a hilarious comment you just
Let's
said.
say, for
Thank you,
anyone that wants to join my post game to express your happiness on the Mariners' victory.
That's
Is there
hilarious.
any-
Sorry, I think my favorite part is the comment. Sorry, I got to get my mind on baseball, but this is going really well right here. It's like the second date update. I'm dead, Jared.
From what I can tell on her minuscule profile, she is.
It gets worse. Just keep reading on.
You're married, kids. That never stopped me in the bar.
Yeah.
Rooftop sports after hours incoming. Okay.
As far as let's start with the game. I'll start this off, even though Rooftop normally
Good.
does. What's your thoughts on today's game, Rooftop? How do you feel it went? And I guess with this game, which now has put us 3.5 back, do you have more hope that if we swept the Astros, this could actually be more of a possibility right now, at least after tonight?
Unfortunately, I'm not even thinking about the about the Astros series. I'm thinking about the upcoming Rangers series where they're going to have Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer available. So the crazy thing is, settling for a split against Texas would be considered a wild success. So they're going to have to figure out a way starting tomorrow. Now they're going to have a rookie pitcher going up against the Mariners, which I also added on fantasy. But the Mariners are going to have to take advantage of that and find a way to score the runs, run up the score, so they can get that confidence going once Jacob deGrom is going to be competing against the Mariners. And we can check when that score is going to be, if I can even find it. So Thursday is going to be the rookie pitcher Rocker. Not John Rocker, by the way, and they're not related. On Friday, it's going to be Jacob deGrom, and the pitcher's undecided. That's probably going to be like an Emerson Hancock, which I will not feel good about that. Then it's going to be Logan Gilbert against Max Scherzer, and you would think that there could be an opportunity there. And then Sunday is going to be George Kirby against undecided. So I'm foreseeing a split or a 3-4, but I think we lose the deGrom game. Unless deGrom's like really rusty.
Yeah, I mean, I like the takes. I think we're back in it I never thought we were out of it. It's more, I don't know that we can sustain a lead if we somehow sweep the Astros later. As far as the 4-game series, because I'll jump in there, I'm not scared of deGrom or Scherzer. I'm more scared of the fact that we won't be able to produce. Not because they're going to dominate us, because our offense is sporadic. And we're definitely going to lose the game because Emerson Hancock unpopular opinion, sucks. He cannot perform at the big league level. And then the way Kirby's looked lately, I'm just not sold on it.
I agree with you. The
So I
bats
guess
will be the self-inflicting problem.
I guess Andrew Heaney, they said, is from Fangraphs, should be pitching. Well, if Heaney pitches, we might have a chance.
We'll see. And let's take a look and see who else they are playing. A's are still playing the Astros, so if the A's play like they've been playing in the second half, then Mariners can pick up a game and make it 2.5. But then
everything's going to come down to that Astros series.
Astros at Angels. Oh, great. Astros at Angels. Here's my excuse me. Here's my opinion on that.
Yeah, that's my opinion too. The Astros don't stand a chance. The Angels are going to come out there and curb stomp them. Just kidding. Oh, random question. Do you think Ron Washington loses his job after this year, after the way the Angels have played?
No. I don't think he loses his job. I think he gets one more season at least.
Okay. Oh, do you think Trout comes back? And do you think he'll be good? Or do you think we've seen all the best days out of Trout and now he's just going to be passed around like a injury-prone legend?
Hate to say it, but I think he's on Griffey's path.
Yep.
And by the time he's maybe healthy, it'll be too little too late. And it's not like the guy gained any weight or anything. Like the guy's still playing at a high level. He's just injured all the time.
I was going to go to the comments and see, but it looks like all the comments have settled down and there's no other baseball questions. So
I guess there isn't.
I guess,
but going into that Houston series, they're going to get three. They're going to get 3 games on Houston versus the Angels. So it's probably going to be a 2 out of 3 from Houston. So the Mariners, if they even want to break even, they pretty much have to split or go 3 of 4.
Well,
I think if they go 3 of 4, they can at least pick up a game. But I don't think this is going to be the weekend where you can expect the Mariners to immediately get back in the division. I still think it's still going to be like a break even, or maybe you pick up one game if you're lucky.
I think it's going to ride on the Houston series. I think we're going to need the 3. We need to sweep Houston. I think that's where it's going to be.
Well, you need to sweep Houston, but I think in some ways you have to find a way to sweep Texas this weekend, but I don't think it's going to happen with DeGrom and Scherzer pitching.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a split or maybe a 3 of 4. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Where were you for 9/11?
When I was 9 years old, I was watching the Mariners highlights when Mariners kicked some butt against the Angels. Freddie Garcia was dominant. David Bell hit a double. Charles Gibson made that amazing last catch. And the crazy thing is that was the last play in Major League Baseball history before 9/11. It's a crazy thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to the bathroom when I was watching the best damn sports show period, getting ready for school. And next thing I know, I get out of the bathroom and I see the plane hitting the World Trade Center. I don't think it was live. It actually clearly wasn't live.
The second one was, but the first one was not. Yes.
The first one was caught on camera by some person that just happened to accidentally catch it, and someone screaming, "Oh crap!" So, but you still couldn't 100% see the plane. You could just only hear going, whoosh, boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, 9/11 was a very scary day in American history, because before that, everyone was thinking that America was invincible. No one's going to stop them. There was not really any notable wars. The only thing we got was 94 in an African country, and that was just a hit operation. But other than that, you didn't really hear anything else about America going to war. And now next thing you know, America's involved in everything. That's just too much of a topic to say. And going back to baseball, takeaways was Brian Wu, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. He did absolutely amazing until that top of the 7th inning when Tatis broke it up with a tie. Bogarts then scored because Wu had already runners on there, and not much Troy Taylor could have really done about it. As for the hitting, when we look at the box score, Victor Robles was 0 for 2, but he got on base. Julio was 0 for 4. He disappointed. Cal Raleigh actually went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Luke Raley got 1 for 3 with an RBI. He's actually been putting up the runs. JP Crawford got 2-run RBI double. So JP Crawford really did save this team. So any takeaways you had from the Mariners game yourself?
Yeah, Brian Wu had a good performance until the end. The bullpen did their job. The Mariners, in some regards, played a good game. My issue is these good games are nice, but when you're in a pennant race or a division race or a wild card race, you need more consistency with hitting. And I get that it's a work in progress, but we need to start hitting more because, like, you can't have what happened last night, 7-2, and then tonight we win 5-2 because your hitting is that sporadic. It just needs to be more consistent. As far as the upcoming series, yeah, we'll see what it goes. All my attention is on that Houston series. If we can get in there and we are 3 games out and they win the 3 and we come out even, the Mariners actually have to play good baseball from out of that. I don't foresee us coming out with a 1-game lead on Houston. And personally, I'd rather not have a lead on Houston. I'd rather play it out where we need to fight. Because if we get a lead, we like to play comfortable, and then we lose.
That's a pretty good point.
Kirby for a bat, huh? Casey said something. I don't know that anyone would want George Kirby to. In all
No,
honesty,
I think teams would.
Okay,
would.
but not for a bat that she's asking for. A bat that we could use, they are not going to give just up George Kirby for an amazing bat.
Yeah, I guess. Casey was a dishwasher at a restaurant in a small town in Duval, which I pass through Duval all the time.
I can't
It was
remember
her
what
first
Duval
job.
is, but
Duval is between Redmond
then
and
I know where it is.
Redmond and Monroe. You remember lighting a candle during lunch and just out of respect of the night of 9/11, yeah. But who knows how the Mariners are going to do? I mean, the Texas series, I think, is not going to be. It's not going to be an easy task, and they've actually not been playing terrible either. They've
No.
actually been playing okay in their last 10 games.
No,
And checking the standings,
they have
Texas Rangers are 6-4 at least. I mean, they were at least 1.8-2, but now they're 6-4.
If we're gonna, without going on a tangent, because you got to check out Rooftop Sports videos on different Mariners seasons. They're good. 0-1. I don't care about the 9/11 thing. I don't care that it took 2 weeks off from baseball. The Mariners' issues were we had a good team, but they were good on the field. Paper-wise, if you really look, they weren't supposed to be that good. That pitching was way better than they thought they had. The bullpen outperformed, and when we came back, the steam was gone, but it wasn't going to affect the season. We were a couple bats short of where we needed to be that year to produce something, aka A-Rod. Yeah,
the problems were already there before it was even noticed.
Yeah, and if we're being real honest, most of the pitchers besides Jamie Moyer just had one good season, and that was it. Jamie Moyer was the only one on that team who was, pitching-wise, was actually solid and good for more than just one
Aaron
year.
Seeley, he had a great start in the first half, but then he fell apart in the second half, which nobody really notices.
All right.
Freddie Garcia was okay. Paul Abbott, I mean, he pitched a no-hitter against the Yankees in Game 4 of the Championship Series, but then Lou pulled him out for whatever reason because he walked a ton of guys, but he still got the guys out. Like, he pulled them on a no-hitter.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that we can make the playoffs somehow. We can get into it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he'll be figuring things out. He's young and still has potential. That's what makes trading. But you got to understand, it's more than that for Kirby. You got to okay. How do I put this? The Mariners need a game-changing bat, not just a normal bat. Like, we're talking about someone like a Vlad, a Pete Alonso, somebody who's going to change this entire offense. and no one is going to do it just for a 1-for-1 for George Kirby. I wouldn't. I would not give up a bat like that for a single pitcher who has had command struggles this year.
I don't blame you. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we saw it yesterday where George Kirby, yes, he doesn't walk the guys, but it does come at the cost of his location, and he does leave those hanging in the middle way too much.
Yeah, he does.
What else
No,
we got?
the Yankees
That's
were not that much better in that series at all. We did play very good, Dustin, and we were better than the Yankees all year. We choked. We wouldn't have beat the D-backs because the D-backs were a complete team. The Yankees, though, we had their number. We just fell apart there when it mattered. That's all it was. I mean, I'm pretty sure if we were to look it up, Edgar was the only bat in that entire series that produced a lot for us at all.
I'll look it up and see where. I don't think he even produced in the ALCS. I don't
Edgar?
think he did.
Yeah, I don't
No,
think anyone did.
Brett Boone, I think, did. All right, here's the stat lines. Jay Buhner was actually hitting 333.
wasn't even
Brett
an
Boone
everyday
actually played pretty well, batting 316. Al Martin 500, but with only 2 at bats. But then notably, Edgar Martinez batted 150.
Dang.
Didn't even drive in a run. Struck out 6 times. Mike Cameron was 176.
Yeah, so our hitters fell
Ichiro
apart.
222. And when you have Ichiro not producing well, that's when it was lost. I think if Ichiro at least hit 300 or 350 in that series, then maybe a little bit different.
Well, if Edgar had hit, each year had hit, we would have had a better chance.
Yeah, I mean that's the unfortunately, and that's the crazy part is Mariners hadn't won a game at home in the playoffs since 2000, which is even scarier. No, and since 2001, but for the ALCS, they haven't won a game since 2001 and hadn't won a home game in the ALCS since 2000. And time was a lot different back then. Last time the Mariners did anything deep.
Yeah, it was. Different teams, different runs.
Different era.
Yeah.
This phone didn't even exist. I can tell you that this room, none of these equipments even exist either. I can guarantee you that nothing in here existed.
It's been a long way since 2001.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we definitely need to win. Are you covering anything else this weekend or not till next Tuesday?
I won't even be covering anything until... I don't think I'm covering anything for the next 2 weeks because I'll be out of town next week. So that's going to be that. So obviously I'm not going to be able to cover a game. So it would be the Houston series is when I would be back.
Saving it the best for last. What can you
Pretty much. Hopefully they'll still be in it by the time I'm back from town.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think I've ran out of things to say. And plus I got some videos to cut. But that's going to do it. I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for all those crazy engagements with the chatting, especially Casey who lit it up. Dustin was there.
I guess Casey put on a
to
show.
switch this thing. Jared really did put on a show. I was like, Jared, I can't nope, don't do it.
Yeah, Jared and Casey sure put on a show for all of us. So
And TK as well.
I forgot TK did. So I mean, that was cool to see. Thank you guys. I mean, it's always a pleasure to be allowed on this show. And yeah, I'll be home, not working the next series, so I'll have my actual setup and I'll have my A-Rod stuff that you get to see, and we'll make it more of a sports feeling.
Yeah, we will. Well, anyways, that'll be it. And hopefully the Mariners, I would say hopefully they sweep the Rangers, but probably a 2 of 4 is going to be more realistic, and 3 of 1, or 3 of 4 maybe.
Just win, baby. Just win.
Just win. All right. Everyone have a good night. And go Mariners.